What's up, everybody? I'm Wood. This is take 2, and I sit next to Keith.
I like when you admit how you fuck up.
Yeah.
I like when you admit that. And because we're here, it takes 2 to make a thing go right. And this is now So What You Saying.
So what you saying?
Shit's fucked up out there, guys.
It is.
All right? Shit's fucked up.
It
We
is.
take care. See, I don't think the public understands what we do for them.
No, they don't.
So we brought in a family therapist,
We did.
and that was in January. And we say, okay, you're gonna be locked up with your wife.
Yeah.
Let's find out if you're really down with this motherfucker. You're gonna be locked
Yeah,
up with your
yeah.
boyfriend. Let's find out if this is the one.
Yeah.
Is he clipping his toenails in the bed, in the kitchen?
Ugh.
Is he doing some nasty
That's
shit?
just nasty.
Family therapist.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's Haley, guys. If you need to go see somebody, Haley's out there.
Then we followed up with the
we did.
microbiologist.
Uh-huh.
Microbiologist walked in here and said, hey, look, this shit'll be all right. Just wash your fucking hands and stay away from people that are sick.
Quit being
All right?
nasty.
Let's get the germs out the fucking picture. Then we got a dermatologist, because if you're out there searching for food, you need to know how to take care of your skin.
Yeah, you do.
All right, now.
Because all that greasy, nasty shit is not good for your skin.
Now you're out there searching for food, shelter, money.
Because all the
cars,
shelves are bare. Everything's been ransacked.
and
Everything's gone.
And take money out. Money,
Yeah.
yeah, because money, that shit might fall apart right now.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
With that, we got a mask off. Tell them what a mask off is, brother.
Yeah, guys. So a mask off is when we bring someone in the woodshed here, and we talk to them. They're different than we are. They do something different, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
and they're always better at it than we are.
100% of the time, they're better.
100%. So we take that mask that they have, and we peel that back. We get to know them. We get to know what they're about, what it is they do, and we sit down and we dumb them down just a little bit. So with that. Without further ado, because I like saying that, I feel like it's French, to our mask-off guest, who are you, what's your name, and what is it that you do?
Hi, I'm RC, is what I go by, and I'm a former Marine, and I'm a gun guy, I guess you'd call him. I've been called a holster sniffer, or whatever, gun nut, stuff like that.
Gun nut.
Gun nut.
I was
That's
wondering
the one where I was-
at
that's
what point, because in my notes here I have gun nut, and I didn't show you that because I didn't want to get shot. But at what point does a person become a gun owner, a responsible gun owner,
Yeah.
and they turn into a gun nut? What? So, like, cat lady. 3 cats is okay.
Yeah.
All right. Once you get 4, you're probably stepping in the cat lady.
Crazy cat lady.
Genre. Crazy
Yeah,
cat lady.
crazy cat lady, yeah.
Probably stepping in that. So. With the gun nut, when you become a gun nut, is that 4 guns? Is that 5 guns?
I think that's probably who was asking the question.
Okay.
Right, you know what I mean? Like if you're like somebody from New York that swings way left on the spectrum, anybody who has a gun is a gun nut.
Period.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
I think for the average person,
Texas. Let's go Texas. Let's go the other way.
Oh,
damn.
fuck, Texas. That'd be at least 10. Yeah, at least. I mean, you probably don't even register as a goddamn American if you don't have at least 10, right? So it probably depends. I'd say probably when you get into the into the 10 or 15 mark, okay, maybe and it's not more than just not owning guns. It's the lifestyle, right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So when we have a mask off on here, we bring in some bullshit questions just out the box, okay?
Sure.
I don't want to get hurt, so we're just trying to feel you out. Just like a barometer, right?
Yeah, it
Barometer.
is.
We're trying to add up what this person's all about, what we can say and what we can't say, all right? So
Okay.
we just throw some bullshit out there. First one, any lefties in your family?
No.
In your whole family that you know of, no lefties?
No lefties.
That's
Wow.
odd.
Yeah.
Do you think left-handed people are kind of freaky?
A little bit,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to teach them how to shoot. They just fuck everything up.
Do you know Wood's a lefty?
Yeah, I'm a
I mean,
lefty.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
Yeah, and one of my children is at least one.
yeah?
Is one that I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite candy bar?
Okay, favorite candy bar, probably Snickers.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a Snickers.
It's
No,
the one
you
that
can't.
satisfies, man.
I'm a big
Is
fan
that
of
a
this.
euphemism for you?
Yeah. Well, and it's yeah. And when you go overseas, you can find Snickers bars.
They're everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
What about a Butterfinger?
They're
Who the fuck eats a Butterfinger?
I like a Butterfinger.
Do you-
Snickers is probably my number 1, but a close second. So like my 1.5 is probably Butterfinger.
And the
I
problem with
love a
Butterfingers is it sticks to my teeth. And,
Yeah, it does, but it's still delicious. I like
Where
it.
do you put a Reese's peanut butter cup? Because that's not a candy bar.
Where do I put it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a cupcake kind of, isn't it?
Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I love Reese's
All
peanut
right.
butter cups. Yeah.
Over a Butterfinger.
Nope.
Yeah, probably.
I don't.
All right.
Me, yep.
Has a bird ever shit on you?
Yes.
Tell the story.
I was in Disney World the last time it happened.
Disney World. So that's what it's happening multiple times.
I've spent a lot of time outdoors. I was in Disney World with the family, and we were in this place called the Electric Umbrella, which is in where the fuck is it? Epcot.
Okay.
Okay, it's in Epcot because there's a bunch of different parks in Disney World.
All right.
So I'm in Epcot, and we're at this place called the Electric Umbrella, which is it's like a McDonald's. run by Disney. Kind
Okay.
of, burgers and fries.
An
and
umbrella would suggest that you had cover, but
Sort
continue.
of. So, but there's two places you can eat in this place. There's the inside place and then the outside place, like
Okay.
a little veranda, right?
Uh-huh.
And they have umbrellas there, but the birds have learned how to get between those umbrellas. And both myself and my wife have been shit on multiple times in that place.
So don't sit there
No.
if you're going to go to
No,
the umbrella.
stay inside. But they're remodeling it. Who knows
Oh.
what the fuck they're doing now with the COVID shit? But they're remodeling it, and I guess they've closed it down, so you don't need to worry about it.
The mouse is going to be all right.
Yeah.
The mouse is going to be okay when all this shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the mouse,
so-
I got no qualms about him.
No, and if with all this stuff and everything's shut down, traffic's lighter, right?
Uh-huh.
I love that.
Shouldn't all of our theme parks be all updated and upgraded? And then shouldn't all of our highways be completely done with construction?
Yeah.
No.
But we're going to go back to those damn orange cones.
Same old,
Oh,
same
yeah,
old.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and my last question for you. And this is because I'm sure you have a gun on you right now.
Sure.
Would I be right by stating that you have a gun on you right now?
Of course.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Do you have a
That's
gun
like
on you right now?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
no,
neither
I'm
do
wearing
I.
sweatpants.
All right. What's your biggest pet peeve? Pet peeve.
Biggest pet peeve, like
Yes.
gun-related pet peeve, or
Any.
Pet peeve, just so
Anything.
I don't do it. I don't give a fuck if Wood does it. He's left-handed.
yeah.
You know this fucking freak's left-handed, so he's already out.
all right.
All right.
Biggest pet peeve just comes first to my mind.
Uh-huh.
Getting on the freeway, and the motherfucker in front of you
Motherfucker.
does 45 miles an hour,
Yes.
and so you're trying to fucking merge onto a 70, 80 mile an hour freeway behind a fucker that's doing 45 miles an hour.
Gotcha.
You know what that falls
That-
into? What category that falls into? But we're wrong.
If we whip their, if we
Yeah.
shoot their tires out.
Yeah, we're wrong if we kick their ass. And the last question for you is: which era do you wish you were born in?
Which era?
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, so you're content
You
where you're
threw me
at.
for a fucking loop.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say...
You were going to say Wild Wild West, weren't you?
Booyah.
Yep,
I thought
yep,
you wanted
I
to know
knew you
Doc
were gonna say-
Holliday
I
and
knew you were gonna
fucking
think that.
Kit Carson.
Well, those guys are all cool, but see, I look at the logistics of things, man.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Wild Wild West. That'd be awesome if you like malaria, dysentery, yellow fever, wild Indians, criminals, no law and order, a death rate at 40 years old, shit like that.
You understand the Indians were wild because you were taking their houses.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
You
yeah.
understand that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, totally.
All right, just didn't
Well,
know if you were
it's
clear
the-
on that.
Like in the movie Maverick, with Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he says, well, it's their fault for being on our land before we got here, right?
Typical European, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's like I look at eras. Yeah, sure. It's like people romanticize the Wild West, or they
Sure.
romanticize a medieval thing with swords and shit. You ever seen somebody carved up with a sword or a spear?
No,
no.
no.
I
Yeah,
have to
I
say
have.
no.
That's nothing I've ever seen.
It's nasty.
Nasty.
All right? So it's like they romanticize these different periods in time, but they all have their ass-kicking portions, like the Black Plague or the Spanish flu or malaria or
COVID-19.
Or
I mean,
COVID-19.
Yeah, here we
Yeah.
are.
But,
Hello.
But like the Spanish flu after World War I killed how many people? At 20?
Well, that shut
I think
down.
25
million.
million, yeah.
Yeah.
That shut down the war.
Yeah.
I think we talked
the
about
war,
that last
the war,
week.
the
yeah.
war ended.
Yeah.
And then the Spanish flu hit, and it killed more people than the damn war did.
Damn, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it was killing people of all ages, not this COVID bullshit where it's like if I'm 85 and at assisted living, right?
I don't know, man. I'm going to tell you, this shit's hitting the youngsters, too.
It is. It is.
The one thing that worries me about it
Go ahead.
is what the government's not telling us. If
That's-
it's that fucking bad, why?
But that's your whole life. The
Yeah,
government's
yeah.
not telling you a lot of shit.
Oh, I agree.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to bring all these questions around, the reason why we're sitting around having this wild debate
Okay.
is because of Snaggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what is RC? Since you're here, we always have our guests introduce their Snaggles. With that, Keith, he's presenting something to you to read as his Snaggles. But what is our Snaggles?
Okay. Well, Keith over here was drinking. It looks like Modelo. Fantastic beer from Mexico, I believe, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Patron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's chasing Modelo with Patron.
Yeah, that's a man right there.
These are the things I do.
Yeah.
These are the things
I used to do shit like that until I got old. And then, and what are you drinking over there?
I got me some right there.
Oh, pale ale for a full suspension pale ale from, is that Squatters?
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
is.
it's a local microbrew there.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
Always going local, guys. Going
Yeah,
local.
yeah. So I'm completely white trash. I'm going with the Coors Light here. So let me just describe my different modes of drinking here.
Okay.
Okay, so right now I'm in white trash mode. I drink Coors Light for white trash. You know, it's a light beer. You know, it's not heavy.
Which scares me because you have a gun on you. But I mean, go ahead. Cause I'm just waiting for you to go yeehaw. Because when you go yeehaw, I'm running the fuck out of here. This will be called the What You Saying podcast because the soul will be out the door. Okay.
Yeehaw. No, I'm not that white trash. I got just enough of the Italian in me. That,
Oh, you're Italian and white trash?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. How'd that happen?
Different
story. Finish your beer.
Yeah.
Finish your beer.
Okay, so Coors Light, and then when I'm feeling a little more uppity, I'll drink like Amberbach or any kind of like designer beer, like Squatter's beer. The Pale Ale is really good too.
Yeah, it is. That's delicious.
What's the one with the orange flavor? The
Blue Moon.
No, you got Blue Moon, and there's the one from Belgium.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I'm sure I've had it.
Yeah, we've probably had it. It might be in that fridge behind you. I can't say for sure. If it's got a flavor, it's here.
And then my whiskey, my heart is I love Glenmorangie, single malt Scotch whiskey.
Yes.
Glenmorangie is my shit, man. I
know what?
love Glenmorangie.
I'm recycling shit. This is a Patron we had probably a year ago.
Yeah, it's
and I'm
been sitting on
recycling
your
it because
shelf.
right now, everywhere you go, there's a fucking line.
Yeah.
This is the reason I left
Liquor
Boston.
stores are off the hook.
This is why I left Boston, because I don't want to stand in line. And I refuse. I learned I'm not an alcoholic.
Oh, good.
So,
because you left the line.
because I didn't get in the line.
Right.
I says to my girl, hey, baby, guess what? I'm not an alcoholic. I didn't stand in line for alcohol. And she's like, good for you. But I bought 6 cases of beer. Oh, okay.
That's just responsibility. That's just stocking up. Yeah.
It is, guys. That's our Snaggles. It's always, and it is going to be,
As always.
brought to you by Tiger Claw Tattoo. Now, if you've been listening the last few weeks, they are shut down right now. COVID-19 is kicking their ass. They're shut down.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because they're going to be back, and they're going to be back stronger than ever. So when they're back, we'll let you know. In fact, we're going to have Shay, owner and operator of that bad boy, on here soon, and he'll give us some insight and some direction on how to help them out. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, guys...
No. Not how to help them out. How to get a quality tattoo and help you the fuck out. It's not about helping them out.
True.
Because their skills are that good. And you know what?
Yeah, they are that good.
RC, I don't have any fucking tattoos. Not on one. I see you sleeved up. We'll talk about those. I thought about getting a tattoo. I talked to my girl. I said, what about a wedding ring tattoo? You know what I mean? Just something cool. And that's why I would get it done, because I know anything I come up with, this son of a bitch and his people can get that shit on my finger the way it was.
They're going to make it perfect.
Yeah.
In fact,
the way I need it.
I'm quite certain that one of our listeners not too long ago went and got a wedding ring tattoo done by Tiger Claw Tattoo.
No shit?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right, cool.
So I'll have to get that picture posted up. I thought I did. I didn't, obviously. So, guys, when they're up and running, check them out. In the meantime, go check out your local spots. Support your local people, because they're going to need it, and they do need it, because $1,200 ain't helping shit.
I talked to Larry at Making Sense the other day.
Yeah.
I was going to go down there and grab some shit to support the business. He's like, hey, dumbass, we're closed because of the COVID. I said, all right, well, when we open up, let me know. So Making Sense down there. That's Larry and Friends episode. Go down there and get yourself some sense once this shit pops off. Fuck a Walmart.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
Fuck all the big companies. Support your local, because that's what keeps it going. That's your neighbor.
Andrew's Aeration, which is in Salt Lake along the Wasatch Front. Go give him a call. I posted it up. Check him out. Hook him up. Help him out. He needs some business. Go see those guys. Anyways, guys, we're going to take a brief pause here so you can listen to some beautiful monotone voice, and we'll be right back at you.
All right. When's the first time you fell in love with a gun? When's the first time you saw a gun? Because you have a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So you have a favorite. I'm sure you got one like your great-great-grandpappy gave you. Right? So when's the first time you said, bang, bang, that makes me hard?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. I don't been young. I know I had my toy guns when I was a kid, and my parents used to ground me from them because that's all I would play with.
Did you have cap guns?
Yeah, cap guns, squirt guns, toy guns.
I love the smell of those things.
The cap guns?
Yeah, smell.
Yeah, BB guns, all that thing.
So how old are you when you started getting that stuff and realizing that shit?
I was probably 4 or 5.
All right. How many people in your family?
5.
You got an older brother?
I'm the oldest, and I got 2 younger brothers.
You're the oldest, so you're running shit.
Yes.
Okay, clean my gun, bitches.
Yeah.
All right. At what point in time, though, did you say, all right, this is something cool. I'm good at this. So, like, you got your first... Most kids start off, if Westerns are correct, they start off with a .22 rifle.
Yeah. Okay, so here was the deal with me.
I always thought it was you start out with a BB gun, but go on.
And they had BB guns back
I grew up just a little poor.
All right.
Right, and we didn't have, and my dad wasn't really into all that. We had like an old 30-30 laying around, like a Savage, like a 100-year-old 30-30. And it was 100 years old. Yeah.
Passed down from the family?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he traded an old car for it back in the good old days, right?
Car for a gun.
Yeah.
I traded meat for this gun.
Exactly. Different times. And then we had like a little break action 410 shotgun, and we never went shooting. We went shooting one time I can remember with my dad over at Lee K. And then the first gun I ever shot, I was 8 years old, and I have a bunch of relatives up in Wyoming. I want to talk about the wild motherfucking West in Wyoming. We go up to Wyoming, and my aunt let me shoot. Yeah, they all got guns up there.
Yeah.
Okay. But she had a little pump action 22. Was it a pump action or a lever action? I can't remember. It was a little 22 rifle, and I was shooting bottles with it and stuff. So I remember that was the first time I'd ever shot a gun. And then really, I didn't get to really start shooting until I got in the Marines, and I was 18 years old.
18. So you said that started when you were 8?
About 8.
8.
Yeah.
And you shot the same shit. So you was the same guy. You were good with that little gun. But then you got to the Marines?
Yeah, so the funny thing about the Marine Corps is I had an uncle that was a Marine during Vietnam. He was a rifleman. So you got the different jobs in the military. And rifleman is like the base job of an infantry Marine. Guy that, does all the fighting on the ground, right? Mm-hmm. So he was a rifleman in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam War. And he would babysit me from time to time. Mm-hmm. And
you mean literally babysit?
Yeah,
Your parents would drop you off over
yeah,
to the gun guy's house.
Yeah, yeah. And so he would. His name was Daryl, and it's a fucking awesome white trash name, dude. Anyway,
I think that's been used as an insult before.
Yeah,
don't be a Daryl. Yeah.
Daryl and Daryl, huh?
Yeah.
Daryl and Daryl. Anyway, he goes. So we go out in the backyard and the weeds and stuff they'd have out there, and we'd play the army game, right? Mm-hmm. Like And he'd go, "What are you?" I remember this distinctly, right? I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, but I can remember this from when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
He goes, "What are you?" And I said, "I'm a soldier. I'm an army man or whatever." And he goes, "Fuck that. You're a fucking Marine."
So he instilled it from when you were little.
From that point, I started looking into it, and there was a period of time in junior high school where I kind of went away from that and was smoking a little weed and shit like that.
Right.
And then my dad one time, they were kind of losing me to the whole drug, heavy metal, scene. So he took me down to the recruiter when I was 14 years old. And the recruiter had to come to Jesus with me. If you want to be a fucking Marine, you got to fucking get good grades and blah, blah, blah.
Which was lies, right? Wasn't that a lie?
Oh, that's a fucking ass lie, dude.
Okay.
But it's what they do. It's like it's like a parent comes down with their kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, can you maybe talk some sense into
Maybe
this
straighten this
jackal?
kid up a little bit, yeah.
And so this recruiter told me that. So I kind of got away, and I kind of started looking at the Marine Corps again, right? And so I spent a good part of my teenage years, like, I had all the posters and, this ain't a rose garden bullshit. And,
what year are we talking?
that would have been 83-ish.
83.
Something like that. So, anyway, I started hanging out at the recruiters at about the age of 15. And they had this thing, they may still have it, called the Delayed Entry Program, where basically what you do is you could sign up when you're 17, you spend a year here waiting to go into the Marine Corps, and during that time, like on the weekends, you'd go to the recruiting office, and they would do shit like paintball or PT testing or the shit Marine Corps stuff to kind of get you acclimated, and basically it's just brainwashing, right?
Okay.
So they're just telling you how wonderful it's going to be.
Every once in a while they'd have, like, remember they had an 8th and I guy come out. The 8th and I guys, the silent drill team. That's the guys in the dress blues that do all the snap and pop with the rifles and spinning and throwing them in the air. That shit's fucking incredible. If you ever done close order drill,
YouTube that shit, and that's pretty incredible.
Dude. I've done a lot of close order drill with the Marine Corps, and I tell you what, that is above and beyond. But he'd come out, and so they do shit like that, and nobody, and I mean nobody, brainwashes as good as the United States Marine Corps.
Nice.
Nobody.
So
they got you feeling like you could conquer anything.
Well,
you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
You're like, look at my cock. It's hanging down to my knees. I could do. Oh, you're telling me I could do that with it? Hell yeah, I'm gonna go do that with it. That's what they're doing.
They are. If you're this little fucking white skinny boy from Utah,
okay,
and you've got your ass kicked your whole life, and suddenly you're with all these pipe swingers, and they're telling you that you can be this immortal, right? That's what's attractive to, I think, kids. The Marine Corps is full of guys that are trying to prove themselves, right?
Okay, except for the Utah part, that sounds like Timothy McVeigh, but you don't strike me as Timothy McVeigh.
No.
But no, seriously, because he got his ass kicked. My question is this: at what point did you get a gun in your hands and you're like, yo, I got the power? Remember that song by Snap?
Yeah,
I got the power. So you got that motherfucker and it glowed up in your hands. You were like,
oh,
I can do this. I became one with this, and you got good at it.
Well, I never I never felt like I had the power. It never gave me like the sense of like I'm better or whatever. But it was in boot camp, so I joined the Marines when I was 17. Did the delayed entry thing. Went to boot camp in '87, June of '87.
Okay.
And your second phase, you go up to, if you go to Camp Pendleton, or if you go to San Diego, which is where there's 2 Marine Corps recruit depot centers, San Diego and Parris Island. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're east of the Mississippi,
Yep.
if you live there, you go to Parris Island. If you're west of the Mississippi, you go to San Diego. And, the East Coast Marines would call us Hollywood Marines. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, where's my fucking sunscreen and my sunglasses, bitch? Anyway, but you just trade sand in Camp Lejeune for the fucking hills in Camp Pendleton. It all sucks. Anyway, so the second phase, the second month, you go to Camp Pendleton, which is 40 miles north of San Diego, where the Marine Corps base is, where 1st Marine Division is stationed. And you go to the rifle range, you do rifle range and infantry training and stuff. Well, what they, for a lot of the gun nuts out there with no military experience.
Love a gun nut.
Yeah. But the bubbas who fucking think that because they can, they've got this AR-15.
Who's a bubba?
Anybody who thinks that they're a badass with a gun that doesn't have training.
Okay. All
okay.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned. Okay. Or Elmer Fudd guy, Fudd guns, whatever.
Got it.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
anyway,
These dipshits that are shooting them, and then they fall on their ass, or they shoot themselves because they think they're so
I can't
awesome.
tell you how many civilians I've seen. You tell them don't fucking put your finger on the trigger. Teaching a course to people, and the first thing they do, well, I'm a hunter, I know what I'm doing, and the first thing they do is come out and put the fucking finger on the trigger, which is a big no-no. It's a fucking firearm safety rule. Anyway, but anyway,
Somebody's about to get their ass kicked out
yeah,
there.
yeah. But in the Marine Corps, you get your rifle. You get assigned to. When I was in, it was an M16A2. I don't know what they have now. Probably an M4.
Would you name it?
I didn't name it anything, dude. No, I was too busy trying to keep my head above water with these fuckers, right? Anyway, it's just a piece of fucking steel and plastic that 9 other guys have had before you, right? Kind of like a fucking Filipino
So
prostitute.
it's not even
right?
your.
Yeah. You pick it up, and it's like all the fucking Parkerizing is worn off it, and it rattles like a motherfucker, right?
You're like, you fucking whore. How
Yeah,
you going to
exactly.
protect me?
You fucking whore.
Why is everything so loose on here?
I know, exactly.
Let me stop you right there. We had Bolo on.
Yeah,
who
we had
talked
Bolo.
about his experience of being in basic training in the Army.
Yeah. In the
Now, my whole thing is, I've always heard, all right, so you got the Army, you got the Army Rangers, you got the Navy, you got the Navy SEALs, you got the Air Force, I don't know what you got. But then you got a Marine, and that's all, you got the Marines.
Because a Marine is a Marine.
King dingling, badass motherfuckers. So what's basic training like for a Marine?
It's 3 months long, and it's basically in your shit for 3 fucking months.
They talk about your mama?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. And, dude, and the best part, and this is where I got instilled in the racial humor,
Go ahead.
is because all but one of my drill instructors, 2 of them were black, 1 of them was Hispanic, and then 1 was a big old fucking peckerwood, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, they would make fun of it. Like, everybody with their race, dude. And it was fucking awesome.
Trying
dude.
to get in your skin.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, well, they were trying to instill, too, that's like, look, you may have grown up in fucking back-ass Alabama or in the hood in New York or something like that, but guess what? You're going to be in the fucking open squad bay in a barracks with all these dudes.
And these are your brothers.
And these are your brothers, and you need to fucking start learning
Yes.
that fucking skin deep shit. And I tell you what, when fucking bullets are snapping past your face, nobody gives a fat fuck what color you are.
No, they're yeah, I can imagine.
Okay, so
I got to ask you this. So Bolo talked to us about eating during basic and how it was. He called it a what did he call it?
I can't remember.
A breakfast blunt.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just take all your food, roll it on a pancake, roll it up, and eat that shit as fast as you could.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't touch the salt and pepper.
No.
Is it similar in the Marine?
Dude, you eat as fast as you fucking can. Because here's what happens. You get in, and depending on the mood the fucking drill instructor's in, is how long you have to eat that fucking food. Well, first of all, you're starving your ass off because all boot camp is PT, dude. Whether you're running or doing calisthenics or getting your ass kicked in the squad bay by the squad leader or closer, it's all. So you're always starving. You run in there, you get your food. The first thing you do is you run over where the bread is and you fucking grab a stack of bread, right?
Okay.
You throw all that shit down and you
Filler.
just fucking eat as fast as you can.
Filler.
You just
And then
dump
have
in
your-
water in it
yeah,
to suck it down.
You have your platoon guide, which is the top recruit apparently. His whole job is to watch the drill instructor because as soon as that fucker stands up, you're done.
Okay.
I don't, and so it's like you'll sit down, you'll get 2 mouthfuls, and you're fucking starving.
So no seasoning, like Bolo said. If you got time to reach for the salt and pepper, you got time to get your ass outside and do push-ups.
Yeah, no, you don't fucking no, dude. You're just eating as calories. That's all you're looking for because you're fucking starving, dude. There's nothing worse than being up at 2 a.m. cleaning the squad bay and you're starving your fucking ass off, right? And so, yeah, no, you learn how to, and it took me years and years after the Marine Corps to learn how to just fucking eat like a human being. So, yeah.
That's a knife. You can cut things. You don't have to shovel it in and moisten it before you eat.
I know. Fuck, I'd be done with my dinner, and my wife would be like 2 bites in, right? So, yeah, it's...
You're like, done first, wife? She's like, what?
Let's go. It's time to go.
Yep. And it's just, and the reason they teach you, there's a purpose for everything they do to you. It's not just because they're getting their yayas out of it. I mean, I'm sure they do. But I'm sure I know those, dude, drill instructors are stand-up comedians.
Okay.
They are fucking, once you get some distance from it, you fucking go back and you listen to the shit that they said. Holy fuck, it's funny.
Yeah.
Right? And those guys, they have a drill hut in the middle of the squad bay where they would trade off. Like one would come out and then they'd trade off, right? And you're like, why are they trading off? It's because they'd go in there and laugh their asses off, right? Because they couldn't keep a straight fucking face, right?
I know a dude, he told me a story about making his bed. He said he made his bed one time 42 times because the drill instructors kept coming in and tearing up. They had no scheduled whatever that day, and so all they had to do was practice making their bed. And he said there was one point in time, probably the 23rd time, they were making a bed. He said he looked over the drill instructor, and the drill instructor was smiling and was just like, "This is what we're doing," and turned the bed over again and tossed his shit, and he made it again. And how do you deal with that? You know what I mean? Just that constant fucking up your ass.
It's all conditioning. They are teaching you the unfairness of war. And they're teaching you how to survive the bullshit. Because it doesn't end in boot camp. It gets worse when you get to the fucking Fleet Marine Forces, which is where the infantry units and all that.
Okay,
but anyway, I'll tell you, they used to call them fuck games.
Fuck games. That sounds like something I'd say.
So
Let's hear this.
So you know you're in trouble. Okay, you know you're in trouble when they would close all the fucking blinds, all the shades on the squad bay.
Oh, damn.
So the officers couldn't see what was going on. You're like, fuck, here we go, right?
Yep, it's about to go down.
And so what they would do, they'd always start off with the rack, the bed. Fitted sheet, now move, right? And that's their command to you. Sir, fitted sheet, aye, sir. Then you'd fucking break off and you'd rip your bunk apart, your rack, right? And you'd hold the fitted sheet over your head with your arm. Okay. And then you get back online in front of your racks. I mean, this big straight line of all 80 whatever recruits. Hold your rack sheet over your head and you have 30 fucking seconds to make your fucking rack. Sir, aye, sir, go. So you'd fucking go over there and start making your rack, and they start counting down 30, 29, 25, 20, and I'm like, I had a fucking C
they
average.
Fuck with you like that?
Yeah, I was like, I had a C average in math, but I can tell you fucking right now, that's not how you count backwards, right?
So then you're paying attention to that.
Yeah,
and
so they're you don't have 30 seconds. You got like 10 seconds, right? So nobody makes and then they go, stop. And you'd say, sir, stop. So you got to stop and stand at attention, wherever the fuck you're at in the squad bay, right? Stop. And then they do that like 5 times, and then you say, fitted sheet, now move. Rip your rack apart, hold it. That would go on for about 20, 30 times. And then they'd say, you just want to fuck with us. You just want to fuck with us, huh? All right. You have one shower shoe over your head. Fucking flip-flop. Hold it over your head. Get in. You have fucking 10 seconds to get into the fucking head. Into the showers. Right? Little shower, 80 guys fucking crammed in there. Drop your shower shoe. Kick it around. Get back online. So you'd run back out to your fucking rack. Standing online at the rack.
Butt naked?
No, you'd have your boxers on.
All right.
Boxers and t-shirts.
Okay.
And then they'd say, you have 30 seconds to get your fucking shower shoe.
How do you know it's yours?
Yeah,
it has your name on it?
Oh, it don't fucking matter, dude.
It doesn't matter.
You just go grab one.
So you can never win.
No, you can't win. All right. So then you'd go around there and come back. Oh, and then that'd go on and go on and go on. And then they dig. Oh, okay. You just want to fuck with us. Okay. Then they go on to the next thing. Like when you do rifle drills with your fucking footlocker. Where you pick it up and right shoulder, footlocker. You're fucking, whacking yourself. So it's, but what they're teaching you is the unfairness of everything. Because I remember when I got to the fleet, I was doing a combat squad leaders course, and we had gone 3 days without food. So we're all starving our asses off. You're doing 15-mile days, and then you're up all night doing patrolling and stuff, and then moving at night. Anyway, so you'd sit there, and you only take one boot off at a time in case you get hit, right? And so you got one boot off.
Then you could at least get one boot going. Your ass out the door.
So you got one boot off, right? And your feet are fucking. They look like like a kid's fingers after they've been in the tub for a year.
Right. Oh.
So because you're all wet and they walk you through rivers and all that shit. So you're sitting there and you got 5 minutes to eat your fucking MRE and you got one, and you haven't eaten in 3 days, right? So you start fucking chowing and they wait for you to get your MREs open. You get like 2 mouthfuls and they throw a fucking smoke grenade in the middle of your and say incoming orders, right? Then that means you got to fucking pick all your shit up and run like 200 or 300 500 yards in whatever direction the patrol leader calls. Yeah, to get out of the fucking impact area if you actually had mortars coming in on you, right? And then you'd get back down and and then you guys are like fucking cradling their food like it's solid gold fucking bullion, right? And so that's why they're teaching you, because everything, all the lessons learned in death and blood through the years of combat has been passed down from Marine to Marine, and that's what they're teaching. So they're breaking you down and building you back up. That's right. But all these lessons they're teaching you is for when you go to combat, when you get into an infantry unit, is how to stay alive.
Shit ain't new. Shit ain't new. No. So you're going through all this, you said, with an M16?
M16A2. So
explain that gun to me, because I've only heard that in the military sense.
Right.
What is that? A MA? No, a GAW. GAW? Is that a gun?
Yeah, a GAW it's called a GAW. That's a chain gun, like a cannon, like a multi-barrel cannon.
That's different than the M16.
Yeah. So the M16 it's a rifle.
All right, explain that to me. And opposed to M16 rifle, I don't know, like an AR-15.
Okay, it's in a sense kind of the same thing. So the M16 was designed by Eugene Stoner back in the 50s.
Was Eugene Stoner?
Eugene Stoner was the designer of the M16.
In the 50s.
In the 50s.
That's an American.
Fair enough.
That's when they started it, okay?
I always thought the good guns were from Russia or Slovakia.
That's an AK-47, right?
The AK-40, yeah, I could go into that. The AK-47 is okay. It's a conscript gun.
All right.
I just took you off the fucking potato field and gave you a minute of training, and here's your gun, right?
Okay, so M16 is a lot better than that AK-47.
It's got to be maintained more, but it's more accurate. Yeah.
Ice Cube likes the AK-47.
Well, of course.
Apparently.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. The AK's got its place, but I'll take an M4 or an AR any day.
All right.
A good one, not a fucking piece of shit one that you buy off of Gunbroker. But
talk to me about that M16.
The M16A2. Okay.
Wow. Sagos snuck right up.
So Stoner designed the M16. It was fielded in Vietnam in the 60s, and basically what happened was Robert McNamara, Secretary of Defense, said that
I know that name.
Yeah, well, he was a fucking. There was a lot of names on the Vietnam Memorial Wall because of that guy's fucking decisions.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, in my opinion.
No, that was your opinion that came out of my mouth.
As a guy that would be at the pointy end of the spear, that my opinion is fuck yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, because he did some shit so the Marine Corps learned in World War II, fighting in the South Pacific in that humid environment, you have to have chrome line chambers and chrome line bores. Chrome line the barrel, right inside of the barrel,
so it doesn't rust.
Because what happens is, especially, so you're out in the middle of, Vietnam, triple canopy jungle. It's 110 degrees and it's 100% humidity, and you've got your M16, and you don't know where the NVA are. They could be out there, and you're scared shitless, but you've got...
Excuse me, sir.
NVA?
NVA.
North Vietnamese Army.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's what... I was going to say that, but then I thought maybe it was
Well, people like to minimize...
Not very associative?
Yeah.
I don't know.
People like to minimize them. People like to minimize the NVA or the North Vietnamese or the Viet Cong. Those NVA dudes were tough motherfuckers.
Well, we would never do that.
No,
those guys were fucking professional. They were a professional outfit.
They fought like Minutemen, too, in the sense that they were hiding and up in trees and in the ground.
That was the Viet Cong. The NVA were actually big formations of active military units.
Okay.
So, but the NVA, they were some nasty people. They were good soldiers. But anyway, so these guys would have. So what happened was McNamara told the defense contractors who were making the M16 to not chrome line the chambers because it was taking too long. Just chrome line the bores. And they said, no, if you don't chrome line the chambers, you're going to have issues. There was other issues too, it was Remington that designed the cartridge, but Winchester was the military contractor for the ammunition, so they made Winchester make it, and they didn't have the right formula for the powder, so it was overcharged and dirty. They didn't issue them with cleaning kits. They told them they were self-cleaning, so there was all these things, right? So what happened is you get in that environment, heat, humidity, they'd have a round chambered overnight, and they'd be, like in a fighting position or in a patrol base or something like that, and they'd get hit. And they'd fire one round, and the extractor would rip the casing off, the lip of the cartridge off, and jam a cartridge, an expended cartridge in the chamber.
Now you're fucked. I don't know shit about guns, but I know if you have an expanded cartridge, you can't get another cartridge down that bitch.
Well, especially
that's hard to get two cartridges in the same hole.
Well, especially if you've got the extractor rim of the cartridge ripped off. Now there's no way to get that out without putting a cleaning rod.
Well, because okay, I'm going to break it down for our audience that is a little simple like I am. So you've got a bullet casing, right? And it's got that little lip at the end. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
That little lip at the end gets ripped off.
It gets ripped off by the
so you
claw
have just
of the extractor.
So now you just have the perfect cylindrical piece of the casing, right?
Cylindrical. You need to drink more.
Yeah,
about
He enunciated that way too
He did.
It took
You
me.
look like I'm drinking shit.
It took me so much brain power to get that word out. But that's all you got left
Yeah.
in
You,
the.
you,
in the
you almost fell asleep, huh?
So what they started finding were Marines and soldiers, these 19-year-old kids,
Yeah.
dead, bayoneted and shot to death by the NVA with an M16 broken open, with a cleaning rod shoved down there trying to clear it, right?
Damn.
And so that's the kind of shit I'm talking
You
about.
don't got time to do that shit when it's combat.
No, when you got somebody fucking charging your position, you're trying to...
And what gun was that again?
That was the M16.
M16.
The
So
original...
That's not good.
The original M16. So have you ever seen the movie We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson?
I saw bits and pieces of that.
Okay, so that's based on a true story in 1965 of an airborne unit that got engaged.
Okay.
The first M16s that went to theater were made properly. They had the right chambers, they had the right ammunition, they worked fucking flawlessly for those guys.
So you got the first version of the gun, and you're looking at your boy that got like the 9th version of the gun. You're like, what the fuck's your problem? My shit works. It's operator error.
Yeah, well then these shitty guns started coming in, and so whole units had them. Right, and so that's the kind of the bureaucratic bullshit decisions that are killing kids at the other end. So anyway, they updated it to the M16A1, which had some different features on it and made it a better gun. And then in the 80s, they went to the M16A2, which was a heavier barrel and different handguards. Better.
Okay.
Better twist. It had shoot bigger, heavier bullets, stuff like that. So that's what I carry.
I'm sorry. What type of bullet did it shoot?
It's a 5.56 millimeter. Or 5.56 by 4.5 millimeter. That's what the military still uses for their rifles. And they had the ammunition as the years have progressed. The ammunition has changed for it. It's still the same casing, but the bullets have changed and the powder has changed. Where they've made the bullets heavier, more lethal, better at longer ranges.
What's the casing? What do you mean?
The casing is the brass piece that holds the powder.
Oh, so the shit on the bottom.
Yes.
So the bullet's the thing.
Yeah, the bullet's the thing that goes down the barrel and kills a motherfucker. Yeah.
Whenever I see you'll see bullets on the ground all the time, right? But it's got the brass.
I don't live in your neighborhood. Wood.
Not all the time.
Okay,
let me back that up. But you see the brass color, and then you see the tip. In my mind, when I see that, I'm like, oh, that's a bullet.
So it's a round of ammunition, right?
Okay.
A round of ammunition is the brass casing with the bullet in it, the powder, and a primer. And the primer is the little explosive device that the firing pin hits. That goes off because it's got a little pellet of PETN in it, which is an explosive. That goes off, ignites your gunpowder, which then turns into gas, expanding gases, which pushes your bullet into the chamber or into the bore, and then it goes down the rifling and it heads out. And then as that happens, depending on what your weapon is on the M16, it's direct impingement. The gas goes up into a little gas port in the barrel, hits the gas tube, goes back, impinges on the bolt carrier, and that cycles the action.
I saw Timothy Smith back in 1983 break his wrist. Timothy Smith walked up. We were walking together, me and Tim. He had Tim, and it was his twin brother Thomas. They were fraternal, not identical. Walking down the street, and some dude said, "Hey, Tim, take this hammer and hit this thing." And it was a bullet taped to a telephone pole. And he took the hammer and he hit it, and he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
So what you? That's
Yeah,
the
like this-
hood.
he's been
That's the
there.
hood back in '84, right?
RC says it like he's been there, done it. He's like,
we
yep.
used to tape 22s to like nails and throw them on 22 shells. Tape in the nails and throw them in the air and then fucking run.
So hoping they came down on the ass and would shoot again.
Yeah, well, they would shoot because you got it on the net, or you put a tip of BB to it. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and there's been a big thing about this because I lived in California in 1978, and I remember New Year's. People went outside shooting guns.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that anymore, and I would assume they don't. But you shoot a gun straight up in the air. If I shoot it straight up in the air, is that bullet coming straight back down to where I am?
No, it's just going to have different parabolas and different angles. It's going to come back down.
It can kill you.
Oh, yeah.
It can still kill you.
Yeah.
So, but does it come
it's traveling at 32.2 feet per second.
I knew-
down? But it's not coming down like that. Oh, gravity's bringing it down, right?
Gravity's bringing it down. It could still kill you.
32.2 feet per second.
Yeah.
Yeah, look it up. Don't worry
Cause
about how I know, but I know.
He needs to drink more, Keith.
Yeah. He's typing a little bit too much right now.
So I'll give you a quick story about that. Knew a guy that was a cop in the LA Housing Authority police.
What year?
That would have been back in the mid-90s, maybe?
Oh, shit. Did he meet Ice Cube?
Maybe. He may have.
Okay.
But so he's showing me these videos. He'd get these home videos, right? And they used to do shit like bumper tag with shopping carts and shit like that. I mean, but anyway, he said that they were... So anyway, he's showing us this, this back when we had VCRs and shit. So he's showing us this tape, and they're in the car, and it's from the perspective of somebody driving, but they're like fucking hitting whoop-de-doos, and wow, I mean, they're gunning it, and we're like, God damn, what, you on the way to a hot call, or when you're chasing a bad guy, what the fuck are you doing? And he goes, no, it's almost New Year's, man. I'm like, so? And he goes, well, we're trying to get to an overpass. He goes, why? He says, because all the gang members go out and shoot their guns straight in the air.
Yeah.
So you got to get under an overpass so when the bullets come down, they don't hit your cop car.
So you shoot a bullet.
shit.
So say you take, I don't know, a 9mm.
Sure.
That reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator. You got 9mm.
Uzi 9mm.
Yeah, right. So is a Uzi 9mm different from a regular 9mm?
It shoots the same cartridge, but it's a submachine gun.
But that's more bullets out at a time.
Yeah.
Does it just mean it can spit more out?
So an Uzi is a submachine gun. It's kind of like a cross between a pistol and like a rifle. And most submachine guns are fully automatic, or they can be. All right.
So that's just pull the trigger and go.
Yeah. And I actually, funny story, when I guarded embassies in Africa, I had an Uzi.
All right.
Oh, damn.
This is like Woods.
He jumped from here to here to...
This is Woods' sweet spot. He grew up on 90s gangster rap where everybody's talking about, AK-47s and 9mm.
You see my shirt I got on there?
Yeah, right.
Rocket Tupac.
So you shoot a 9mm into the air. How far does it go up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably a good...
That far.
A mile?
A long time.
A mile?
Probably around a mile, I would guess.
And then it comes down a mile with gravity pulling it. So, again, that can really fuck you up.
So I'm a knuckle dragger, all right? And I barely made it out of high school.
Oh,
but Keith over here, or not Keith, Wood over here said it at the 32 feet per second. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
he was on the computer. Don't fucking get
I know. So that thing will come down. If it hits you on the top of your grape, it's going to kill you. Yeah.
Done.
Now, I know that they were talking about it in Palestine. The Palestinians, you ever watch those fuckers up there with their AKs ripping off a whole magazine in there and celebration and shit, and the people are dying over on this neighborhood because the rounds are coming down and hitting kids?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, that shit happens. Yeah. What comes up must come back down. Apparently, that's this thing called physics. Yeah.
Every time. What type of characters did you have in your platoon?
All right, so... The way it works, you get out of boot camp, and you go, and back then you went to SOI, School of Infantry. That's 2 months long, and I went to Camp Lejeune over in fucking North Carolina.
Okay.
And then in the infinite wisdom of the Marine Corps, they sent me all the way back to Camp Pendleton in California.
Damn, that's a long way.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my gas. So,
That's true.
So you go to Camp Pendleton, which is right between San Diego and Los Angeles, on the coast right there, right? And that's where the 1st Marine Division is. And so you get there, you get to division. And I remember the first time the first week I was there, you go into receiving or processing. You're waiting to see which battalion they're going to send you to or which regiment. And so I remember they had deserters. People that had deserted during the Vietnam War that just turned themselves back in. Yeah. So that they could get processed through and get their dishonorable discharge and get on with their lives.
Okay.
Right? The guys that had gone to Canada and shit.
Yeah.
And so they were like, so I'm this 18-year-old kid, right? And don't make you can call yourself a Marine all you want, but when you're 18, you're just a fucking baby.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I'm an 18-year-old kid, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm in this common area. They assigned us guard duty on these fucking guys, and I'm like, even at 18 years old, I was like, okay, so these guys turned themselves in to get their lives back, and I need to guard them. Why?
Yeah, if this motherfucker tells me he wants to leave, I'm going to let him leave.
So these guys are walking.
They're just
wandering around, like reading, watching TV and shit, and I'm standing there in my fucking little cartridge duty belt, right? 18 years old, and they're looking at me with this bemused expression on their face because they've got years of experience.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just like...
They know at any moment they could walk out there.
Oh, yeah. What am I going to do? Anyway, so that was my first experience in the fleet, because they call it this. It's the FMF, the Fleet Marine Force, which is the operational arm of the Marine Corps. Go to war, that's the Fleet Marine Force that goes to war. We also call it fat motherfuckers or fuck my feet. So
y'all some bored motherfuckers, man.
They come up with something
for everything. For everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then you get signed. I got signed to the 3rd or the 7th Marine Regiment, and then I got assigned to 3rd Battalion. And then so you get to battalion headquarters, and there's like, okay, you're going to India Company. So I went to India Company, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment. It's an infantry unit. So I remember you do the sea bag drag. You got your sea bag. Duffel bag is what the Army calls it. So you got like 2 sea bags, and you're in your dress uniform, the alphas, the greens, dragging my ass to the barracks, right? And these barracks were like hotel. They look like hotels. and they were three stories, and there were a bunch of these drunk ass Marines, like shaved apes, hanging off the fucking balcony, and they're yelling at us, "Fresh meat for the grinder! Welcome to the suck, motherfuckers!" Right? We're like,
Oh,
fuck.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're an 18-year-old kid from Utah that's never seen shit like that right before, and it's like you're in the shit now, boy.
You're starting to question your decisions at this
I was
point.
questioning my decisions the fucking minute I got to boot camp. So I got in there. So I get into my room, and it was a guy named his name was he was a corporal named Lewis. He was a Native American. I can't remember which nation he was from. But I get in. He's listening to Dwight Yoakam.
Okay.
Okay, and he like Dwight Yoakam, The Doors, and Jack Daniels.
Damn.
Okay.
Wow.
And that fucker could drink too. Anyway, so we get into the room, and this is before we went to we got assigned to open squad base. This is one of the few things where you had like 4 Marines to a room. So I get in there, and he's sitting there like, I can't remember what the fuck he was doing, polishing boots or whatever. But we get in there, and my squad leader who took us there goes, "This is your new Marine," and introduced us, and then he left. And Lou looks at me, and he goes, "You a white boy?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Italian." He goes, "Whatever, you're a fucking white boy, aren't you?" Anyway, so and they're just fucking with me, right? So anyway, I get in there and he goes, "Oh, by the way, our other roommate's named Gresham."
That's
like,
a brother.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like 6'6".
That's a brother.
When he got out of the Corps, he tried out for the Oakland Raiders. That's how fucking big he was.
Okay.
He fucking humongous. And so I'm this fucking little white kid from Utah, right? I've seen like one black guy before boot camp, and so they assign me to the top rack. So that's how you know seniority. Who's senior in a fucking squad bay, right? If you're on the top rack, it means you're a junior motherfucker, right?
Okay.
All right, so I'm on the top rack, and I'm like trying to sleep, but it's a new first night in a fucking new place, you know how that is.
Yeah.
And the door opens, and here comes Gresham, right? And I'm pretending like I'm asleep. I got my eyes, and he comes walking over, and he fucking stands over me. I'm on the top
And you're on
rack,
the top bunk.
and he's standing, and all I can hear is a breathing. He's fucking breathing and shit.
Sounds like a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah,
he
doesn't it?
was a fucking Sasquatch.
He was
dude.
on my tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't move, he won't know I'm here.
He was a fucking Sasquatch, dude. Anyway, so he's fucking looking down at me at the top rack, right? And I'm like, "Oh, please, God, I'm just asleep. I'm fucking just asleep, right?" He's going, "Who the fuck I am, right? I'm like some new fucking, some newbie, right?" So anyway, then he just left me alone. But yeah, I had a cast of characters, and when we get in there.
You still friends with any of them?
No, this is before Facebook and all that, So
Okay.
I was in India 3-7, and then
So you had to be pen pals back then, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Like, I'm not writing no fucking
dude,
letters,
no,
right?
fucking Marines are
It
fucking
does-
literate anyway, dude. Come on.
Let's talk about the guns then.
Okay.
How many guns do you own?
I don't know, somewhere north of 20 or 30. Fuck, I don't know.
20 or 30. There's a 10
Wow.
fucking. There's a 10-point differential there.
Yeah. That's a lot.
All right. Sawed-off shotguns. Do you own one of those?
I do not own a sawed-off shotgun.
Because are those illegal?
No, sawed-off shotguns are not legal unless you do. So,
They're not legal, or they are illegal.
Actually, I said illegal, but I'm drunk. So
okay.
are they illegal?
Yeah,
I understood Keith's drunk words, and he
Okay.
meant, are they illegal?
You always speak each other's language.
Yeah, we do.
all right, no, okay. So, they have something called the National Firearms Act of 1934. After Prohibition went out, was decriminalized or whatever, they took all the Treasury agents and made them the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Okay, ATF.
The ATF.
Oh, okay.
They passed a law called the NFA, National Firearms Act of 1934.
Okay.
And in that, all things that are fully automatic, anything with any shotgun with a barrel less than 18 inches, any rifle with a barrel less than 16 inches, and anything shorter than 26 inches has to be on the NFA registry.
That was a Tommy gun, right?
Like a Tommy gun, like a
fuck
Tommy
that,
gun,
yeah.
a Tommy gun, a BAR. I mean, any of that stuff that the old gangsters used to use.
I'm sorry, BAR.
Browning automatic rifle. So
Wow, okay.
If you've ever seen,
You've ripped that off so fast.
If you've ever seen Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Okay, you know the big white boy with the big automatic? He's like,
Yes.
tuck, 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 tuck,
Yes.
That's a BAR.
Okay.
It's a 30-06, a fully automatic 30-06.
Can't have those
rifle.
no more.
No. So,
Do you own one?
no.
All right.
So they...
Would you want to own one?
From a historical perspective, sure.
Do you know anybody that owns one?
I do not. from a historical perspective, it's cool, but there are better weapons out there.
Okay.
So so basically, if you wanted to own any one of those kinds of weapons, you had to fill out a form, a Form 1, a Form 4, whatever kind of form you're doing, and submit that to the NFA, the National Firearms Act, or the NFA branch of the ATF. And then they go through like your fingerprints. They do an FBI background check. You send a $200 check or money order, and now it's credit card. to have that approved. These days, your wait time for that, or in a silencer, a suppressor as well. These time, the wait time is upwards of a year.
Oh wow!
Trying to get that stuff back.
Why does somebody own a silencer or suppressor? That's the thing that, pew, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
the
I
gun
think
goes
of like I
James
think of
Bond.
yeah, and I think of like Hitman and shit like
Yes.
that.
So
Why does somebody have that?
So hearing protection.
Whoa.
Huh?
Wait, that's why. Don't give me the real reason why somebody has a silencer. Hearing protection? Are you fucking kidding me? Because you talked to me earlier about having eyes and ears. That's what you talked about.
Right,
Put your
right.
fucking eyes on so the shell doesn't come up.
Yeah, but if you're
eyeball.
if you're ever in combat, if you're in a shooting, you're not gonna have time to put eyes and ears on. And if you look at all the special ops guys, what do they have on their rifles?
I don't know.
Suppressors.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So like right now, the Marine Corps has got a big push. They're, from what I understand, is they want the entire Marine Corps, all the infantry units to go suppressed and all that because of hearing loss. Now, so the big thing about suppressors that people don't understand is is that they do not silence a weapon.
What do?
They suppress the blast, but it's still loud as fuck. Okay, especially if it's a supersonic rifle.
But I watch on the and this I'm leading this so you can help us understand. But I watch the movies and it sounds like
Yeah. Okay. If
Yeah,
you
about
see,
that loud.
If you see anything in the movies or TV shows or anything like that, it's wrong.
Okay.
It's fucking wrong until proven otherwise. Okay.
Can I use a potato?
Oh yeah, I've seen that too. Or a pillow.
Maybe, but you could also blow yourself the fuck up.
Why? Why? Because it's stuffed to barrel.
Yeah, because you could stuff the barrel. Yeah, and then it's only good for one shot anyway.
All right. How come more people? Because I watch Dateline. I'm a Dateline fucking fanatic.
Okay.
I'm a 48 Hours Mystery. I watch IDTV. Like the shit is real life, right?
Okay.
In my life, not real life. My life.
Sure.
So but you got the So there was a killing in Kansas City, and he found a shell casing. How come people don't use revolvers more?
Because they're stupid.
Revolvers are stupid.
No, because
The people
People are stupid.
yeah, if you're gonna commit it, I probably shouldn't say this over there.
say it.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna fucking tell somebody how to kill somebody and get away with it.
I was going to ask you because I know how you.
But you're
know
saying use
you have a
revolvers.
method for killing somebody and getting away with it. I was going to ask you that.
But here's the deal with that though. I think most crimes like that, most firearms crimes, are crimes of opportunity, and most of them are done with stolen firearms. So it's just going to be whatever gun that they stole.
Okay, so I steal a gun.
Okay.
I should steal a revolver.
Sure.
Then what should I do?
Then you should turn it
the
back
bottom
into
of
the
an ocean.
police and.
Look what I found on the roadway.
Exactly. I found this in the river bottom, sir.
It was warm when I found it in the river. What?
And his blood won't come back to me at all. No, it's so the thing about suppressors is especially if you put them like on a rifle, you still have the supersonic. So
I don't know what a supersonic
so
is.
the
I know
round-
it's a song by
so
JJ
depend-
Fad.
That's how fast I run.
yeah, depending on what altitude you are at, is depending how what supersonic is. But for us, it's right around 1100 feet per second. Okay, anything over that is going to create a supersonic crack. Okay, so a supersonic rifle is going to create a supersonic crack. Anybody who's ever received incoming fire from a rifle or a machine gun can tell you what that crack sounds like.
Okay, that'd be you, so keep talking.
Okay, so and it's loud enough that even at hundreds of yards away from the gun, when it's snapping over your head, it can still ring your ears. It's loud as fuck. It's basically the bullet passing the sound barrier and creating this pocket of air.
Which basically like the jets,
Like the
because when
jets.
they fly and they hit
Yes. Mach 1 or
Mach
whatever.
1, yeah.
But that'd be different in, say, Florida, that
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what. I think it'd be lower. I don't know because you have different altitude, you got humidity, barometric pressure, all that stuff. Then you're getting into the sniper shit, and I'm not a weirdo like a sniper.
And here we go.
There's a gun nut
I'm
and then
glad
there's
you
a
said
weirdo.
that, because I wanted to talk to you about like world-class snipers. Chris Kyle, is that his name?
Yes.
And Carlos, Hathcock?
Carlos Hathcock. Yep.
From the Vietnam War.
Uh-huh.
Here's a guy, Carlos, who would crawl 3 feet a day to kill a motherfucker, right?
Yes.
He'd
Yeah.
crawl, and he'd be out there for like a week and a half to kill somebody.
So-
He'd shit himself, piss himself,
Yeah.
and take a shot, and then go back the other way.
And the mission you're talking about is when he killed that NVA general,
Okay, NVA.
North
North
Vietnamese
Vietnamese Army.
Don't try and act like you
Okay.
remember what.
I do
It
remember
was-
because you just said it 5
It
minutes
was
ago.
it was one of those fucking CIA bullshit, and,
Right.
he didn't take a spotter with him. He just went by himself
By himself.
because he didn't want anybody. He's like, I can get in by myself, but I don't want to put anybody else at risk, and any other people would risk compromise, right?
Yeah, right.
And so he got in there and he crawled something like 1,500 meters. In I don't know how many days it took him to get there. He with fire ants. Have you ever been bitten by a fucking fire ant?
No, sir.
No.
It's it's like being tased.
Yeah.
It fucking hurts. So anyway, he crawled. He got within range, shot the general, and then crawled the fuck back out.
Same pace.
Same play, yeah. With all those motherfuckers looking for him, and then got on a helicopter and left.
Damn.
Somebody like that, though. All right, in terms of shooting, I don't know the distance, but I would think a sniper is long range. You have to play for wind.
You have to what now?
Play for wind.
Yes.
So the wind has a factor in the bullet.
You got wind, you've got altitude, you got barometric pressure. There's all that stuff will affect the flight of a bullet.
How do you calculate all that as Carlos? You're Carlos. How do you calculate all that shit during the time you're making that shot?
Well, for people who don't have a natural inclination for it, they have to use trigonometry and shit like that, right?
Oh,
Mathematics.
That's the class I wouldn't play basketball for.
Right,
But
yeah,
keep
that's-
talking.
Yeah.
Something we did not pass.
Yeah, mathematics. These days they've got like machines, apps on your phone you can get that can calculate things for you.
Carlos didn't have any
Carlos
of that.
didn't have any of that shit, so they have this thing called Kentucky windage, and some people are really good.
I'm sorry, we don't do racism on this show. Did you say kahunky?
Kentucky windage.
I thought you said kahunky because I was gonna stand up for Wood. You're my boy. I didn't want no problems.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm like 3/4 kahonky.
Go.
Anyway, so there's this thing called Kentucky windage. It's where like if you're shooting and you see where your bullet hits, then it's like I need to get my bullet over there so you can aim the gun.
I know, but he's got one shot.
Yeah. So he knows. So Carlos knew. He knew his weapon inside and out. He knew his ammunition inside and out. He knew all that stuff. He knew what he exactly had to do.
What was he shooting?
He was shooting a Remington 30-06, I believe, is what he had.
That's a hunting rifle.
It's a hunting rifle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the bolt one where you go?
Yes. Yep.
How far away?
I don't know. I don't know how far away he was, but Marine snipers these days engage, like in Afghanistan and stuff. They engage people regularly at 900,000 meters. They engage a long ways away.
There's a scene in
You
Lethal
have no
Weapon
idea.
1. There's a scene in Lethal Weapon 1 where Martin Riggs talks about making a shot from 1,800 yards or 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
And there's probably 3-4 guys in the world that can make that shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? When he's talking to Danny Glover? Because they got Danny's daughter.
Yeah,
They got Danny's daughter, and she's hot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then he's like, I got to get my daughter back. And
Dude, she
Mel's
was hot,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're
And Mel's
talking
like, I got this fucking shit. And then,
Yeah.
Mr. Joshua and all that shit.
Yeah.
Bring the helicopter, and it all gets fucked up.
Yeah.
But then he's in there with the Chinese dude. Anyhow, that shot he talks about, is that real? Can you make a shot from 2,000 yards?
If you have the equipment, yes, and you know what you're doing. I know there's a Canadian sniper that made recently, in the last few years in Afghanistan, made a 2,500 meter shot on a machine gun team, a Taliban machine gun team.
Was he outside?
He was outside.
Chris Kyle, the guy that got that was some bullshit. What happened to him? The mental,
Yeah.
And I thought that brought mental disturbance to the forefront.
I think it did. I think it shot, especially with the military.
Yes.
It launched that
That was fucked up,
right
man.
way up.
Yeah.
But
It's
anyhow,
unfortunate. But yeah.
Chris Kyle, he made some shots as well. He was a great sniper.
Yes.
I think he has more body than Carlos, but Carlos.
Well, he's got more confirmed kills.
Okay.
So back in Vietnam, to have a confirmed kill, you had to have the sniper, the observer, who's the guy who's giving him like the windage and the range and all that, and keep watching his back, and you had to have an officer, which is a lieutenant or above, verify your kill. But he estimated he killed probably north of 300 or 400 NVA and Viet Cong soldiers.
Damn.
Right?
That's Carlos.
That's Carlos, okay? And there was a Chuck Mahwini guy that killed that many. I mean, another Marine sniper in Vietnam. Now you got Carlos Hathcock, who killed a lot of dudes, and I guess it was easier to. I don't know if they've changed the procedures or what, but I don't know. But
Probably he could just go say, "Hey, I'm going to go take out that guy," and he would go and do it, come back, no big deal. Now you have to have somebody sign something to say it's okay to do that.
well, and what they do now, what snipers are, just a little quick history lesson. Sniper. The word sniper comes from it's Scottish, where they had Scottish gamekeepers that used to go after poachers on royal lands in Great Britain.
I'd go after him too, because look, those are my sheep to fuck, not
exactly.
yours. All
I'm
right.
fucking those sheep, and you're not fucking those sheep.
If you come over and fuck my sheep, I got a problem.
I do. So these fucking kilt wearing, fucking bagpipe playing motherfuckers were really good fucking rifle shots. They recruited them into World War I in the trench warfare, And they were the first snipers that actually they were engaging German officers and stuff across the trench lines from I don't know how many meters away.
Okay.
So that's where the word sniper comes from. I guess they were called snipers or something like these anti-poachers for the English lords. Anyway, if I have my history correct. So you fast forward to now. Snipers, and this is with Carlos Hathcock and all the way up to current days. Snipers are force protection. They're just not out there assassinating motherfuckers. They are actually force protection. So let's say that we're all part of a ranger battalion, and they're going to send us out to secure a block in an Iraqi neighborhood because there's supposed to be weapons or an IED maker, an explosive device maker out there. So they would put a whole company of rangers in and take down this neighborhood, but they would have direct action snipers with them. They would get up on roofs and protect the rangers for any threats.
So they're watching out for the guys going ahead.
And guys like Chris Kyle, they may have killed however many Iraqis or whatever, but how many Americans did they save?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what their job. Their job isn't to go out and just indiscriminately kill people. We don't do that, dude. Maybe we're not fucking Russians. Okay. They go out and they protect their fellow Americans. They protect their fellow soldiers, sailors, and Marines.
I know that scene from Saving Private Ryan where Barry Pepper, and I can't remember his name, he's in the watchtower and he shoots that through his own scope. That's actually Carlos Hathcock that did that.
So the
FYI.
The story goes that he was named Whitefeather by the Vietnamese. The NVA, the North Vietnamese Army, named him Whitefeather because he'd wear a white feather in his boonie cap when he go. Right?
I thought it was a girl that wore the white feather.
No,
it was a guy.
It was Carlos.
Okay,
he wore a white feather.
Oh, it was Cal. Okay,
so he wore a white feather, and he was so effective. He killed so many NVA officers and soldiers that they put a bounty on his head, like a big bounty. And so they had all these snipers and stuff coming
15 barrels of fish.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe it was 10 bags of rice. I don't fucking know. And so they'd have all these snipers come in for him. Well, I guess they had this guy that had a lot of American kills, this NVA sniper that was looking for him, and I don't remember what his name was or any of that shit. But they were out of the wire, and they were hunting each other.
Damn.
And you imagine being in triple
I can't
canopy
imagine.
jungle, and there's somebody out there. There's somebody out there that wants to fucking kill you, who can shoot the fucking hair off of a fly's ass.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're trying to kill them.
And you're trying to kill him, and you can shoot the hair off a fly's ass. Who's better? Who's going to get lucky? Who's going to see something that the other guy doesn't see?
Yeah.
And I guess he saw the glint of the sun on his guy's scope
and got him.
And so he just snapshot and got him right through his scope and through his eye.
Isn't that crazy?
So
man?
he took the guy's rifle, took it back to the armory on base, and as a souvenir, and it was stolen from the armory, and so they never know what happened to that rifle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was stolen from Compton.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, probably. It's probably in Compton. Sure,
it's over there somewhere.
All right, so here you are. You back 18. You got your gun. You got a hard on for the first time, right? Here we are now. Let's fast forward. So you were in the Marines in the 80s,
87 to 93.
This is the 30 years later. Here we are, pandemic. This is this is what you've been fucking playing for. This is what you've been fucking waiting for.
You're like, everything's
let's
locked down.
talk to me about how can I get
People are
toilet
about
paper?
to go crazy.
How can I get Clorox wipes? How can I get meat? What is your strategy? Do you have kids?
I do. I have 3.
3 what?
3 daughters.
You fuck.
Yeah, he's got guns.
So you're locked and fucking loaded. So
yeah.
you do you have a dog?
Yes.
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a girl.
Oh man.
God damn. You surround yourself with estrogen. All right, here you are. So you got all these people you need to quote unquote protect. All right. You got it all planned out. So when the shit hits the fan and the government says you're on your own, I'll see you in 6 months, what's the first thing you do? Where you going?
The first thing I'm going to do is is to ally myself with the neighbors, man.
Okay.
You can't do it by yourself. You got to join up with other people and secure your area.
All right. So that's a Rick from Walking Dead style.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, are you cool with your neighbors right now?
I don't know. They're a bunch of Mormons, and I'm not. So
so you're ass out. So they're gonna kill you.
I think it's there. Are they cool with me?
Right, but you could smile and be friendly when the shit hits the fan. You're like, hey, friends?
Dude, I'm actually a pretty nice guy. Unless you cross me.
Okay.
Right? But then it's fucking maximum tilt, right? But no, for the most part, it's just like, no, look, we can be neighbors. Let's set up some kind of watch system, and we've got to secure our neighborhood.
Do you live on a hill?
No.
All right.
No, not really. It's one of those things where it's like, do you need to leave or do you need to stay?
Well, you need steak.
Yeah,
so what's your plan? So the shit goes down. 45 says, hey, you're on your own. What do?
I'll be, yes, sir, 45, and then I'd fucking go secure the Costco.
Costco's where you going?
Well, that's where all your shit is, dude. You got fucking toilet paper, you got food,
It's all in bulk, too.
Yeah, dude, it's all
months
bulk.
of shit
dude,
there.
you can get like fucking chairs to write out the apocalypse in style, right?
Yeah.
There's everything there, dude.
They even have beds sometimes.
Yeah,
with
they
their
got beds
mattresses.
there. I mean, can you imagine? It's yeah.
Do you dream about this shit?
No.
Because a lot of I know rednecks. Now I wouldn't call you a redneck. I call you a gun nut. You said gun nut. Don't fucking reach for your waist. You said gun nut.
I got my silver bullet right here.
Never push a man to violence who has been waiting for an excuse to use it.
Right.
That's how I see you guys.
Okay, so the reality is, and I can't speak for everybody out there.
No.
I can speak for myself.
Sure.
The reality is I've lived in failed states. I've seen a lot of violence. I've seen a lot of horrible shit. And the last thing I want is for societal collapse, because I know which way that goes. I know what that is. And especially being a dad and a husband, right? I don't want that at all.
You don't want that, or society doesn't want that?
Both. Because let me tell you something.
He's like Bill Bixby. Don't make me angry.
Don't make me
You wouldn't
angry.
like me when I'm angry.
I'm about to stand up.
So I'm about to stand up. So, when I was in Africa guarding the embassy there, one of the embassies there, I was in Liberia. I was there for their second civil war, and I saw the true nature of man. Okay, and I saw what people do to each other.
Civil War to me doesn't. It never sounds like a regular war, right? Like it sounds. No, I know that's.
What you think they're like setting tables with fucking silverware and shit?
No. But to me, Civil War seems like it's like the worst of the worst because you got to go after your neighbor. You got to go after your brother.
Well,
like it's the worst of the worst. It's worse than something. I've never been to war. I have no military, so I have no idea. But in my mind, when I hear the word Civil War, that just to me seems like the worst of the worst.
Well,
that's your fourth baby mama's going at it with your seventh baby
Yeah,
mama.
Right,
exactly.
yeah, like shit went down.
Yeah.
Instead of like my fourth baby mama going after some random lady out there that she thinks it's
Got it.
So in Africa, it's all tribalism. And I got to be honest with you, it's that way everywhere. You call it tribalism in Africa, you can call it clans in Scotland, you can call it whatever, okay? It's all family-oriented, tribal shit, right? So the way it works in Africa, and I'm sure it probably still does, is that you get one clan or one tribe that's in charge of the government, and they've got their clans that are allied with them, and then you got the clans that are their enemies, and they'll suppress them and brutalize them and starve them and all that stuff until that clan's had enough. Then they'll stand up and overthrow that clan, and it's a fucking cycle, right? And that's what I saw. So we in the embassies, the Marines guarded the interior of the embassy, and you have what's called Foreign Service Nationals guard the exterior, like the gates getting into the compound, right? So in Africa, it was the Liberians, it was the Africans, and they were all different tribes, and they were all cool with each other until the war started again.
Right.
And then suddenly they were at each other's throats. And it's like, motherfucker, you guys were just having lunch with each other yesterday, and now you don't fucking like each other. And so that created issues for us, right?
Sure.
The fuck were we talking about?
We were going somewhere with it.
Well, what I asked about 7 minutes ago is how are you going to, what are you going to do when the shit goes south?
It's like
when 45 says you're on your own. When the president, whoever the president
and he
is,
said go to
says
Costco.
You're on your own. You said go to Costco, lock it down.
Yeah, you asked, but what are you looking for? Do you dream about it? It's like, no, it's one of my worst nightmares. Because I remember coming back, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to Quantico, Virginia, to check out, and I remember taking a taxi from the airport to Quantico, Marine Base, and looking at all of the buildings and the sidewalks. There was no trash, no bodies, no fucking feral dogs running around. There was no RPG strikes on the walls. All the buildings had their windows in them.
You didn't need to be worried about going from point A to point B.
No, I didn't need to worry about any of that shit. And it was a whole different. It was a surreal thing. And there was at one point. So the way it was working in Liberia at that time is you had Monrovia, which is the capital city. Okay, and in the capital city, you had a West African peacekeeping force of Nigerians, Senegalese, people like that, called ECOMOG. Okay, and they were keeping the rebels. The NPFL and the INPFL, which stood for the National People Liberations, I don't know, a bunch of fucking assholes. There was two different rebel groups that were trying to get into the city. And if they got into that city, they would massacre every fucking civilian in that city. And that's, I mean...
Men, women, children, didn't matter.
It didn't matter. And they would use machetes to save bullets. But the children, they would...
So when you say if you've ever seen somebody cut up,
yeah,
this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and if you're talking about... They would take a child and either stomp his head in with their boot, or they'd take him by his heels and smash his head on the wall.
Damn.
Shit like that. That's what we're talking about, okay? So they were trying to push their way into the city. ECOMOG was the only thing that was keeping them out of the city, and then we were stuck in the middle of the city guarding the embassy, right? So at one point, the rebels, the war kicked off again. The rebels were trying to get into the city, and they started launching mortars at in the city, and they were landing just right next to the embassy. They were launching and hitting over us. You could hear the shrapnel and all that stuff. So we went from the Marine House, which is where we lived, to the embassy to lock it down to make sure that we weren't getting attacked, like if we were going to have to repel attackers, right? And as we got in there, I remember the people at the gate. So at the time, the U.S. Marines, for whatever reason, for these people, were kind of like were like superhuman. Like we were like dudes that could single-handedly take out. You know what I mean? And they would come to us.
You were the saviors.
They were looking for you for everything.
And the U.S. in general. And I remember, in fact, that was during the same time that Mogadishu, the Somalia thing went down, the Black Hawk Down
the
thing.
Black Hawk Down, yeah.
And they were mad at us. Even the fucking guards in the Foreign Service National Guards in the thing were mad at us because we sent peacekeepers to Somalia to save the people, but not to Liberia. So they were fucking pissed off at us. And I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking in charge of this. And in my opinion, you could all fucking shoot and starve yourselves to death, man. Why we shouldn't be getting involved in your bullshit.
Right.
But anyway.
Which is normally the case for America.
Right.
Yeah, right. So anyway, but I remember these civilians at the gate, coming to the gate for help, because these mortars were landing and there was gunfire. You could look in the distance and see the whole horizon was on fire from artillery, right? And these people were scared shitless. And I remember, holding their kids and thinking, can you imagine? You're unarmed, you have no training, you're stuck in the city, and there's a whole bunch of fucking assholes with machetes and AKs trying to get into the city that want to do nothing but kill you and your family.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, I never forget. I'll never forget looking at those people and the looks in their eyes. And I was like, you know what? That's never going to be me.
Damn.
That's never going to be me. And ever since I got home from there, that's when the whole gun nut thing and stuff kicked in. It's not just because I was like a bubba that grew up in the fucking bayou and his daddy was a fucking alligator hunter or some shit. That's not me, dude. My parents were kind of the peaceniks, kind of. I got to be honest with you. And they hated the whole Marine Corps thing. They hated that whole thing. My dad took me to the recruiter to save me from all the fucking weed and ganja and shit I was into. Yeah. But they never liked that stuff.
Yeah, surprise, motherfucker.
Right, yeah.
Look who your son is, right?
Yeah. Well, it's because they were a product of the 60s, right? And
so you brought a gun with you that I want to talk about. But let me ask you this question right here, and I want you to be completely transparent with me.
Okay.
I've been in a city. Wood, you've been in big cities, and I've been driving in those cities. All right, and you catch a red light, and you got all, you got all those people walking across the street. And I say to myself sometimes, Wood, please don't leave me hanging, because I know you thought the same thing. I could kill all these people right now just by pressing the gas, right?
Yeah,
so you walking around with nine guns on your body. Do you ever say to yourself, you know what, I could shoot this motherfucker in the head right now and he wouldn't even know what happened before it happened?
Okay, so I don't know if this is a funny story or not, but
it's going to be funny.
It's kind of tragic.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've got a form of PTSD.
Okay.
Okay, and people don't understand a mental illness. A real mental illness. Not fucking a made up, a real mental illness.
Not anxiety.
Not anxiety.
I've played video games my whole life. Now I have to go out in the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking about shit where no matter what you do, no matter how hard you fight, this shit kicks your ass.
Yes.
Okay. And so there was a period in my life when my fucking brain broke, and I would drive around, and I'd be driving down the road, and I would see like children walking on the sidewalk, and I would have to shield my eyes, not because I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Run them over or whatever, but because I had that, it's really hard to describe. I knew that intellectually I was no threat to anybody, but the anxiety that was running through my head and my brain was broken, it was telling me that you're a piece of shit and you're going to fucking do something, right? So yes, I have had that, and it caused me so much anxiety and so much stress because I've always considered myself a protector. Any true warfighter, any true Marine soldier considers themselves a protector of the people, okay?
Yes.
Not a fucking killer of people. You may have to kill somebody, but it's not because you're going
to protect the other.
It's to protect the guy next to you. It's to protect your countrymen. It's to protect your family, whatever it is. Shit, dude, I'm not even a hunter, dude. I don't like to kill at all.
Did you have to go get help for that? Did you have to go talk to somebody?
Yeah, I had to go to counseling.
Nothing's wrong with that.
The medication, all that. No, dude, if you're having issues, the sooner you get help, the better. The sooner you get help, the better.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that twice, man, because our demographics in terms of our show, we got these macho motherfuckers.
Our generation.
Yeah, reach out and get help. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad for that.
Dude, you want to talk about, there's nothing more macho than Marine infantrymen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can agree with that.
And I didn't, and I never, fuck that. I don't fucking need, fuck you. I always trusted in my physical abilities and my mental abilities to keep me, and when your brain breaks, it's a complete shock to guys like that, right? And so I would say, dude, when your anger starts going off the charts, when you start punching walls, when you start being dick to your kids for no fucking reason, when you start having waking nightmares.
Waking nightmares.
So what was happening to me, really bad, evil fucking nightmares, violent nightmares, where I would think I was being attacked. Like, I had one where I thought a guy was on top of me shoving a needle into my eye.
And this is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, in the morning. It'd be when I was sleeping.
Okay.
Okay, not a flashback like a Vietnam thing, but like I'm sleeping. Or just being attacked. And I'm up, out of bed, running across the room, swinging my fist, running into walls and shit, right? This went on for a couple of years, and I was like, it's okay. I'm just,
It'll pass. It's
It'll
a phase.
pass. It's
Meanwhile,
a phase.
your family's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Like, my wife's like, dude, And so, but it's, and let's be honest, until just recently, there really hasn't been a big public thing for mental illness.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And when I say mental illness, a lot of people, it's categorized as, like schizophrenic or multiple personality.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
They go Sybil. Right?
Yeah,
They go
Sybil,
also.
yeah, exactly. There's fucking 10 motherfuckers living in this head, right? No, that's not that. Okay. It's something that I can tell you right now. I've had 8 major surgeries from knee replacements and all that stuff from all my wayward days of youth.
Yeah.
I will take any amount of physical pain over the mental stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Any fucking day. If you've ever been through that stuff. So, in answer to your question, yes, I have been driving on the street and thought that. And it caused me so much anxiety because it's like, first of all, I know what my skill set is. I know what my training is. I know what I can do.
That's scary right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is.
That's no, seriously.
Yeah.
No disrespect
So-
to you. I don't know. Normally, when I say no disrespect, somebody's about to be disrespected.
Right, but this is...
When you say that, I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know what my skill set is. I know what I can do.
Yeah.
And nobody in this neighborhood, in this city, in this town understands what I can do to these people.
And there's
Right.
a lot of people out there like that.
Yeah, and that is a huge cause of anxiety for people. Most people like that because most people are in my shoes didn't get into it to be that way.
Right.
Right. We consider ourselves protectors, like I said. So as a result, that is it is so life altering, and I've always been so black and white in my views and stuff, and it's changed me. I'm still kind of black and white, but I'm a little more understanding about people's problems. Right? You don't know what the fucker next to you is going through.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And you know what? You're better than me because I was driving down the street the other day. Just 2 days ago. Would you laugh? I know. And I look over and there's a fucking a Kia. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was an SUV, right? And he had a license plate on, a license plate frame that said Indiana University. And University, I know. I'm
Yeah,
He
drunk.
said university.
University.
I got
And I'm
you.
like, to myself, I'm like, this is all Indiana University gets you is a fucking Kia? Sinatra
Kia?
or whatever the
No,
fuck it
I
was?
think it all got him was the license plate frame.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
he's still, but don't put that shit on there because now I'm judging you. And I think I'm a bad
Yeah.
person. You know what I mean? So you got all that shit going through you. This is the simple shit that going through me. If you have a license plate frame that says Notre Dame, all right, you should at least be driving a fucking Lexus. Or you wasted your parents' money, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So going back to where Keith was headed with that, and you didn't mean to derail us too much there, but the gun you have here with you. Talk to us a little bit about that. Why this gun specifically did you bring here? What's unique about it?
Well, first of all, because of my back,
It's your friend.
yes, my friend. Her name is Vera. Actually, her name is Clarice from the
This one I
Silence of the Lambs.
named.
Yeah. So anyway, I've always my background, and I've done a lot of weird, crazy shit in my life, but concerning guns and tactical stuff and all that. But anyway, I've always got a long gun with me if I can help it. Okay. Because anybody who knows anything about firearms and about people, human beings, animals, and how they work against human beings, can tell you that handguns are nothing but a defensive tool to get you out of a situation back to a real gun.
So
Yeah.
handgun is to get you through the fight to get to a long gun.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
that's what you called it earlier,
A long gun, a shotgun or a rifle.
And he said animals because he's not about to be one of those ones that gets eaten by.
No, yeah.
We have a listener. His name is Jamathan, and he gets on me because I always root for the animal.
Yeah.
Siegfried and Roy, whatever happened to fucking Roy, good. Because women, women. Humans shouldn't be around fucking wild animals. You shouldn't be around a fucking elephant. You should be around a tiger.
Yeah.
And if a dog attacks you, you're a shitty fucking pet owner.
Yeah.
All right?
You know, because we have had a lot of time on our hands lately. I've watched a lot of Animal Planet and shit, and they've got like these animal parks and stuff, these like zoos. And these days, when they have like you're talking about tigers and lions, predators, or big animals like elephants and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't interact with them personally. They interact with them through bars and stuff because it's safer for the handler, and then they don't have to be more aggressive with the animal.
You shouldn't interact with them at all, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I root for the animal. Anytime, let me tell you something, RC.
If one of them gets
anytime
out.
in your life, if you find a fucking billy goat that knocks a 2-year-old over, let me know, because I'm happy. That 2-year-old should not be by that billy goat.
Dude.
Anyhow, continue.
I got chased by a fucking herd of bison once in Camp Pendleton.
Happy on my end. I hope
Dude, I have never run that hard in my life.
Yeah, right. If the bison had caught you, I would have been cheering.
Have you seen how big those fucking things are?
They're massive.
Yeah, I've seen those motherfuckers. Huge heads, man. Tatonka.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was fucking running, dude.
All right, so the gun you brought.
Okay, so it's what they call a Franken gun in the AR-15 industry. Okay. So I put it together
I'm
myself.
scared already.
Let's bring that bad boy out. We've got
Franken gun.
All right. The first thing
we've
you
got
do,
the camera up at we're at about an hour and 20 minutes. So
the first thing you do is check to make sure. It's unloaded.
Okay.
Okay. You always take the magazine out, lock the bolt to the rear, check the chamber, make sure it's safe. And I'll tell you a story about a guy I know that shot himself. It's pretty fucking funny. Anyway, because there's an "I told you so" in there. I'll tell you what.
yeah, there always is.
Okay, so basically what I did, in federal law, this part right here, the lower receiver, is the firearm. That's the registered part of the firearm.
Point to that again. You said the lower. All right, so
Yeah.
from
Okay.
wherever that hole is,
Yeah.
down, up.
Or
Okay.
the way I'm holding it, that is
Okay.
the firearm, okay? That's
Okay.
the registered part of the firearm. It's got the serial number, the make, model, all that stuff, right?
Okay.
And then the rest of it is parts. So I ordered the receivers. You got the upper receiver and the lower receiver. And then I ordered all the other parts, and I can put them together myself. And then I paint it with Cerakote. And this one's a camouflage job.
You did that? You did the camouflage?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Nets and beer.
Can I hold that?
Yep.
That's in beer. I love it.
All right. Oh,
Is it heavy?
It's kind of fucking heavy.
Oh,
Keith, you're a real man. You got it.
so that's
What is this?
That's a tactical light.
Oh.
So if you
Is that laser sighting?
No, it's just a regular white light, LED light. So basically, if you're using that in home defense, the number one thing you need to do is identify the threat and make sure it wasn't one of your kids getting up in the middle of the night to get a drink of fucking water.
Oh, so your kids have had weird times going to the bathroom at night?
Shit, I have. I'm 50, dude.
So this almost looks like camouflage, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what the look you're going for here, or is
Yes.
it just?
It's camouflage so that it breaks up the outline of the weapon.
What is this?
So it's hold on one second. So and then we'll go back to the site that you're looking at. It's not necessarily
it's a sight?
Yeah, it's a site. So it's not necessarily to make it disappear.
No.
It's just to break up the edges.
When you break up the edges, make it blend in better with like foliage and stuff like that.
Okay. Now go back to Keith.
So that's an Aimpoint T1. That's a red dot sight.
So Wood was right. What
I
fucking
heard-
internet are you on?
Listen, when we have a guest, every now and again, I'll do some Google searching. Okay? And that's what I did. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it. I just know, okay, to be completely honest, over the last... listen, I haven't had to work in 6 weeks because I've been broken. I had surgery, and I've been laid up. So what have I done? I got to my
So when you get
console.
a mask off, you get a hard on.
Yeah, and I got to my console, and I've been playing some Call of Duty. And the reason why I know that is because they put a sight on top of my rifle that I unlocked. So yeah.
RC, what'd you call this?
It's a Aimpoint T1.
Which means what?
Aimpoint is the brand, it's the company, and T1 is the model, and then it's a micro red dot sight.
So red dot. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't what.
Does that put a dot on your target?
No, so it's the dot is inside of the actual sight,
Okay.
and then nobody can see it but you as you're bringing it up. There's no laser or anything of that shit. So basically, once you have it sighted in, you put the dot where you want the bullet to go.
So like those movies where somebody's talking, "Hey, I'm gonna kill your bitch," and all of a sudden there's a bunch of dots on them.
That's not that.
this.
That's not that, no. Dude, that whole laser sighting stuff is, unless you have a specific purpose for it, is stupid.
Okay.
It's a waste of money.
So,
Wow.
so how does the that laser dot compared to what you've got in here, how do they compare? Or is it doesn't compare at all?
They have different. Well, it's for target acquisition, I guess. I don't know. You know, the only thing I can see laser sighting working for is what the special operations community does. They got all the fancy, expensive night vision goggles and thermal imaging and stuff. And so what they'll have is equipment on their rifle that sends out an invisible. It's a red dot that you can only see with night vision goggles. So only they can see it, and it helps them for fast target acquisition.
Is most of your shit that you have, because you talked earlier, you said the handgun is to get you to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Would you call it Vera?
Yeah, no, that's Clarice.
Clarice. Hello, Clarice.
Hello, Clarice.
Right? So a handgun is to get you to Clarice.
Yes.
All right. So most of the shit you have is for home defense.
Yes.
All right. So when this shit goes down, once again, you're going to Costco. And you're taking care of the toilet paper. Were you one of those freaks out there grabbing the toilet paper?
No, fuck no, dude.
All right. And by freak, I mean, shoot me.
The way I live my life is you stay prepared, but you don't fucking be an idiot about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like I'd always keep, like, for toilet paper, for example, you always keep like a case on hand, an open case on hand, just in case, right?
Okay.
And usually because you forgot to fucking buy a case and you don't want to be out of ass wipe, right?
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so because I've been in the field, which is the Marine talk for out in the fucking middle of nowhere. I've been out there and not had toilet paper and had to cut fucking sleeves off my t-shirts and shit. Okay, you don't want to do that.
Because if you don't wipe your ass, you'll get a rash. Okay,
Yeah.
I got a question about this rifle here. So the grip. This doesn't look like traditional. Did you create this at the?
So that's a Bravo. Is what called is Bravo Company USA or Bravo Company Manufacturing.
Okay.
Is the one who makes that and the stock. Okay.
Which is what part?
The stock is the butt stock.
Oh, right here. Okay.
No, that's the grip.
Right here.
That's the butt stock, right?
Okay.
Okay. So those are both from Bravo Company, and then what I do with the pistol grip right there, is I have a soldering heat iron or a heat gun, and I'll stipple it so that it's nice and abrasive.
Stipple.
Okay.
Yeah, stipple. So it uses heat to melt the plastic into designs.
So it's similar to, and then there's this part right here. It's kind of the same. Did you do this part as well?
Yes.
And it's on both
sides.
sides.
Those are rail covers that protects your hands from the heat, because after you get through a couple of magazines, that barrel heats up like a motherfucker, and that rail it gets hot to hold on to.
So you've got this that you can hold on, so you don't get burned essentially, right? And then you made this camouflage.
Yes.
And I know you glossed over real quick. How do you do this?
So it's all Cerakote, which is a ceramic-based paint, and it's a fairly technical thing to do. It's not rattle can.
Sarah is S-A-R-A?
It's C-E-R-A.
But you say it's Sarah.
Sarah
like
coating.
Sarah.
Yeah.
That's Jonathan Butler. Sarah Smile.
Well, if you
that's Hall and Oates, and Sarah, that's Fleetwood Mac.
If you use Google and ask for Cerakote, it'll be like Sarah S-A-R-A-H and then Coat C-O-A-T.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my brain went there. Yeah.
So Cerakote, I guess the Sarah part stands for ceramic.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, it's a ceramic-based paint. It's really hard. It's good stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of the industry standard for firearms.
Okay.
And that you can coat them inside and out, and they stand up. They're lubricious, I guess, lubricity.
Who's that? Oh, I thought it was a person.
It's a new,
I thought it was a person.
No, it's a new rap star.
It's like when I walk into it's like when I'm dressed nice and I walk into a room. I'm lubricious.
He's lubricious like a motherfucker.
And it holds up really well to friction and all that. It keeps its lubrication better. But anyway, so what I'll do is I'll do a base coat. You have to break the gun all the way down to its barest parts.
To the metal look of it.
Yeah, and then you have to degrease it, and then you have to blast it down with a blast cabinet like aluminum oxide to get it down to the bare metal or plastic. Okay. And then you do a base coat, and you have to do a partial cure on it in an oven, and you take it out.
What?
Yeah.
So you've cooked that
oven?
thing.
You're putting that shit in the Samsung oven.
No. I have a special Cerakote oven that I bought from a company up in Oregon or some shit.
Okay.
So anyway, you take it out, let it cool off. You assemble the rifle loosely, so it looks like it'd be like the handguard and the receivers and all that shit, right? And then I will take netting, different kinds of netting, different kinds of stencils, and then I'll go, okay, first color is the lightest color, like desert sage, and I'll do little designs on it, put it back in the oven for 15, 20 minutes, take it out, let it cool off. Next color is going to be, I don't know, a dark green or whatever. Do that pattern on it.
How long does this whole process take?
A rifle like this
sounds like it takes days.
A rifle like this would take me between taking it apart, degreasing it, prepping it, painting it, getting it in the oven, getting it cured, and putting it back together would be about 2 days.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's if
So
you started now and then ended. That's 2 days.
That's
but
about 2 days.
You're talking 4 days probably.
Yeah, because
strung out.
I'll take it apart and get it degreased, and then I'll go do something, right? And
Sure.
Then, it's one of those things.
All right,
Alright, now.
we talk about this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got all these fucking guns. You got 362 guns.
Something like that, yeah,
You got them
yeah.
for almost every day of the week.
Unless the
Right.
government comes, then where are they?
Oh, they're in the bottom of a lake somewhere. Or I sold them to a guy at a gun show, and they had a beard. I don't know. I don't know what his name was. Yeah,
I only got 2 guns, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the French? Because I've always heard the French are rifle droppers, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The French are interesting because they used to have like the Germans. They had a pretty proud military history.
Okay.
Okay, and then after World War I decimated the French so bad.
Why?
Like the population?
The population and their military. They just that trench warfare. I mean, so you got to look at World War I. So it was old school generals, old school tactics, going up against new school weapons like machine guns and artillery, like modern machine guns, modern artillery.
Yeah.
So they're doing these human wave assaults, and they were just losing tens of thousands of guys a day. It was criminal what the generals were doing. Just destroying whole fucking generations of young men, right?
Okay.
So it was about that point that the French just kind of ceased being a warrior people, right?
They were like, we can't keep up with this shit.
Yeah.
We're tapping out.
Yeah, well, after World War I, and I don't know. This is all just me talking shit. But, maybe the French, their moms raised them to be, it's okay if you're made fun of. You can be different, right?
Yeah.
And then the German moms are like, you'll kick his ass, right?
Right.
And then what happened in World War II?
Yeah.
The French got
There you
bowled
go.
right the fuck over by the Germans,
Yeah.
right? Well, everybody did. And there's more than just that. But, we could go into World War II and the Wehrmacht and all that all you want.
But bottom line is, you're not fans of the French.
No.
Okay.
I'm sure they're nice people on occasion, but I don't like their policies. I don't like that they're a bunch of fucking socialists, and I don't like the fact that they're fucking so arrogant.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pompous.
Yeah,
Aren't they
for
pompous
what?
cocksuckers?
Because you fucking eat snails and shit? Fuck you.
Speaking of
And they
eating
have the
snails,
fashion.
this
Don't
is
forget
one of
the
reasons why
fashion.
we're around right now, right? Hey, so right now, in terms of this coronavirus, man,
Yeah.
how do you feel about all this shit going on, man?
Okay, all right.
Are you freaking the fuck out?
Okay, so let me give you what I think about it. This is just me.
Okay.
Okay, this is just RC talking to you guys. I think it's a bunch of horse shit.
Oh.
Motherfuckers are dying.
Yeah. Motherfuckers are dying if you're 85 fucking years old and assisted living.
There's been young people dying.
Okay, but what are they dying of? Because the hospitals have been told.
Some of them got hit by a car.
Yeah, so the hospitals are being told if somebody dies and they even had the virus, even if they didn't die from it, that's what you're reporting it as. So my issue here is we're shutting down the entire fucking economy of the United States for what? Right? So I understand at the beginning we didn't know what this virus is about, and I kind of have my suspicions that it's fucking man engineered. This is some fucking Chinese shit because the way
Well,
it's
it
Yeah,
is
yeah, it
man-made
is Chinese.
engineering.
Yeah,
And
because
those Chinese motherfuckers, first of all, they call it coronavirus. We talked about this.
Yeah.
That's a Mexican beer.
Yeah, they're trying to push it off on someone else other than that. It should be
And
the Wuhan. Isn't that what it started out?
Yeah,
as?
That's
The
what
Wuhan.
it's called.
It was the
And then
Wuhan
they're
virus.
kicking all
Yeah.
the black people out their fucking apartments and shit. The
Yeah,
Nigerians
yep,
and shit living
yeah.
over there. All of a sudden, China's got real fucking racist. We need to
Yeah.
send Chuck D over there. Go ahead.
so when it first came out, it's like, okay, it's highly contagious. I understand that, but the vast majority of people that get it don't even know they fucking have it. It's like, I mean, God, how many times have you had the flu where you thought you were going to fucking die and nobody gave a shit?
Several.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. So I understand at the beginning why the precautions were taken, and I agree with that. But now we're to the point where the modeling didn't work out, the numbers didn't work out, people are not dying by the droves. There's fucking YouTube videos of hospital workers doing fucking choreographed dances and shit because they got nothing to do. They're laying off other nurses. The unemployment's at an all-time high when the economy was booming before. And it's just like, dude, when are we going to fucking wake up and say, all right, you know what? If you're at risk, stay the fuck home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying all this because you have 9 guns. I mean,
Yeah.
not everybody has 9 fucking guns, though.
So
Well-
go buy 9 guns.
No, here's the deal, though. Firearms are a tool. Firearms are no different from a hammer. Okay, firearms are no different from a fucking screw gun or any of that shit, right? It's a tool. You're the weapon. Okay, so once you have the training, once you have the experience, and the mindset is everything, okay? Once you have those things, then you become the extension. The gun is an extension of you.
All right.
Yeah.
With that, all right, I'm glad you said that. The
Yep.
tool and all that extension shit. How do you feel? These mass shootings, why do you think these are happening?
I don't know. I think predominantly, most of the shooters are white kids,
Right?
right? And usually...
That's real talk.
Yeah.
And usually from medium to upscale neighborhoods, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went to an active shooter thing, the 19th Special Forces.
Active shooter. What is that?
It was a training course.
Okay.
There's a guy, and I can't remember what the fuck his name is right now. I've had a few too many silver bullets here. But he got his doctorate on active shooters by studying active shooters and all
There's
that.
a degree for that?
He got a degree. Like, he got his doctorate. His thesis was on active shooters. So he goes around teaching military and I guess law enforcement these things. So it's not an actual course where you're out running around shooting and stuff. It's a like a PowerPoint course where you're
it's
sitting
like
in
a
the
classroom
like
thing.
a classroom thing.
Is it a class
okay.
where I'm sitting there and I'm eating my fucking bean burrito from Taco Bell and all of a sudden somebody walks in and starts shooting? Is it something like that?
No. This is him dissecting active shooters all the way back to the Wild West.
Oh.
There was active shooters back in the Wild
Yes,
West?
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the Wild West was
Let's
an
talk.
active shooter.
Yeah, shit. No, it goes all the way back. And when you talk about active shooter, it's not just firearms. I like to call it active killer.
Okay.
Because it can be explosives, it can be knives, it can be bladed weapons, it can be cars, vehicles. In Nice, in France, Nice, France, a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
remember that? The guy drove a fucking truck through that crowd of
Yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
started
Killed
plowing people over.
98 fucking people with a truck. Okay, so it doesn't have to be just firearms. It's just a mass of unarmed people that are
The
fucking vulnerable.
the Boston bombing, same
Boston
thing.
bombs.
Like it's
That
there you go
counts?
up, boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Blow up
So
people.
active killers.
So you went to this?
So I go to this, and he dissects all this stuff, and he was talking about it, and he's talking about like specifically the school shooter. Most of them are white boys, 15, 16, 17 years old. Most of them,
Any of them ball-headed or left-handed?
yes,
Probably most
yeah,
of them.
yeah, probably all of them,
Or on their way to balding because
But he hypothesizes that they come from middle to upper middle class families, neighborhoods where everybody there is expected to be above average,
Okay.
to
Right,
make something
right.
with their lives.
Gotcha.
yeah, you're
Right.
going to be somebody.
You're going to be somebody, and then these kids tend to be outliers that maybe are socially backwards, or they don't fit in, or they don't excel at anything, and so they turn into this something that's not above their. This is his hypothesis that kind of made sense to me a little bit, and that's why they end up turning to that. And there's probably more to it than that. There's probably, who knows, fucking prescription medications and psychological problems, and who knows what else is.
Why?
involved.
Let me stop you right there. Why do you think the majority of them, because you said this twice, why do you think the majority of them are white males?
That's what I'm getting to. So he hypothesized. God, I wish I could fucking remember his name. He's a fireman and a fucking cop from back east, and I can't remember what the fuck his name is.
Tommy Gavin.
No,
Did you watch Rescue Me?
no.
You didn't watch that? All right, yeah.
Anyway, so he hypothesizes the reason why it's mostly white kids and not like black kids or Hispanic kids is because
We got other stresses to worry about.
you got other stresses to worry about, and they grow up in areas that are maybe a little more repressed, and you're not expected to attain a certain, you know what I mean?
Okay.
There's not much. There's not as much expected of you.
No, there's not as much-
as you're coming
So
up.
if you're just middle of the road dude, or even a little below average, nobody expects anything from you.
Okay.
And that was his hypothesis, is maybe that's why that's happening, or maybe it's just white guys are strung too tight. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
But
Wood?
Or a combination of both. Oh yeah, I tore my Achilles tendon getting in a car, doing nothing else because I'm so tired. I got a lot going on. Okay, I got all these.
yeah.
I got all these payments I got to make. Got to ship checks off every month. It's
Got to dodge
stressful.
fucking collectors.
yeah.
I'm traveling state to state just
Yep.
to dodge shit right now. Okay,
But-
so it's tough.
But you also got to look at too. So you got the school shooters, but that has gone beyond the Columbine whatever bullshit. Now you've got all kinds of people doing it. You got the Tim McVeigh was not an active shooter, but he was a bomber, right?
Right.
And you've got he was like a white separatist kind of fucker.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Then you've got the Islamic assholes that are doing shit. That's and
San Diego.
yeah, San Diego, or it was it was around San Diego. San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
Yeah, the two of them, the family of Muslims, right? And the
Right.
interesting thing about that was I remember watching on the news that the neighbors of those two people knew that some suspicious shit was going on, but they didn't want to be accused of being racist, so they never reported it. And so then they went and shot all those people, and then they ended up having a running gunfight with the cops, right?
There is such a fear of being racist right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like anything you do or say can be considered that, and I understand, and it is a real thing because racism, just because we're in 2020, has not gone away. It
No.
still
No,
exists.
No, it's still there. Yeah.
But if somebody's an asshole, I don't care what color, creed, or
Right.
creation you are. You're an asshole.
Right.
You're going to be an asshole.
Well, can I tell you my observations from being all around the world?
Same song.
It's the same song, dude. People are just people.
Yeah.
You got good people and you got assholes. Okay, it doesn't matter what color they are, dude. They're fucking assholes and they're good
Yep.
people. Okay,
Yep.
and that's just it. People are people, and And to think that just one race of people is better than the other for whatever fucking cockamamie reason you have in your head is stupid. And and I always say that the biggest mistake that people make are thinking that what worked for them will work for everybody else.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so think about that.
That goes generation to generation.
Generation.
Yeah.
Now think about that. Religion, politics,
Yes.
medical advice, all that stuff. Worked for me.
Socio-economic.
Keith, it worked for me. It should fucking work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, then you're fucking wrong.
Then it's me.
Then it's you. No. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Why don't you think the mass shootings, because we're having a mass shooting every fucking 15 minutes.
Well, we were until the corona thing. So.
Until the corona.
true.
Why do you
That's
think
true.
that is?
Well, it's because everybody's locked down, dude. Everybody's locked down, and I don't fucking know, dude.
You can still go to
I think
Costco or
it's-
Walmart and kill a bunch of people.
Well,
if you
maybe
want.
maybe there's not mass groups of people. So the one common denominator between all these mass killings, whether it's with firearms or cars or explosives or blades or whatever, is large groups of people who are centrally located and are defenseless. Right, that's the common denominator. Whether it doesn't matter what the weapon is, right? So right now there's not mass groups of defenseless people hanging out anywhere. That's probably part of it.
And you say defenseless people. So when you see these mass shootings, do you say to yourself, let's be real. This is just me and you when we're talking right now.
Yeah. Huh?
You see a mass shooting. Are you like, why wasn't I fucking there? Why didn't that shit happen in my area?
Yeah,
I was at fucking Target today. Why didn't that happen when I was at a Target?
I always think that, dude.
Do you?
So here's the if I'm by myself,
Yeah.
if I don't have my family with me, guess who's going hunting?
Yeah.
And it's fucking and it's open season on whoever the fuck is doing this, right? But if
But you'd be more lethal with your family there. Not. I mean.
But with my family, my main goal then, instead of hunting for that asshole and killing him, would be getting my family out of there.
Okay.
All right, you see what I mean? But I'd go hunting. But then the big thing you got to worry about is getting shot by the cops when they show up because they don't know who you are.
All right.
Yeah, because like you said, it's the white asshole. It's that person, that guy, that white male, right? You're a white male. You're shooting an asshole that's a white male.
Yeah.
And all the phone calls coming in is some white dude shooting up people, and here we go. So now the police show up, and there you are.
Well, and then it always turns into 2 or 3 shooters, right? When in actuality, it's because there was an off-duty cop or something that was running around with a gun, and they called on him, right?
How accurate are you? There was that asshole in the fucking church, and I can't remember. I think it was Houston. Or,
Oh, yeah.
And the fucking guy worked there, and he shot him, boom, one time, right? Remember he killed him, and the guy was going to do the active
I got to be
shooting?
honest with you, dude.
How good are you?
I'm good enough. I hit my target most of the time. So
He's being humble, ain't he?
so
Yeah, he is. He's
let-
the guy
let-
that's got like,
let me tell you my view on that.
I never
though.
miss.
I think that guy was probably a fucking hell of a shooter. All right, but I think he also got lucky.
Okay.
I think there was some. I think there was both of that.
Luck
there.
plays into a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, it does,
You know?
dude. It's you can call it luck, you can call it fate, you can call it whatever. If you're a religious person, you can call it God. But
Because you can't train under stress unless there's stress there. You, being in the military, you trained under stress.
yes,
You took me and Wood shooting a couple of weeks ago, and we're good, decent. I mean,
And nobody yelling
I
at
put the
me.
bullets the right way.
yeah.
I didn't put them behind me, right?
There's nobody yelling at me. I'm not running anywhere. I'm walking up and I'm going pew pew. Yep, see, I'm
I
good.
like how you
right?
say pew pew. Pyong, pyong.
Well, let me tell you. So let me tell you. You talk about pet peeves, and maybe this would be more of a pet fear of mine. Okay,
Okay.
are these dumbasses right now that are fucking freaking out about the coronavirus?
Okay.
And the gun industry is getting its ass kicked right now with orders because people are going out and buying guns by the door. Every time something happens, every time a panic starts, one of the things that is flying off the shelves is guns and ammunition. Okay, so. If you go talk to some of these gun shop owners or people working at these gun shops, they'll tell you there are a lot of first-time gun buyers coming in and saying, "I just want to get this gun." So they're panic buying a firearm.
Terrifying.
They're panic buying a firearm, never having fired a firearm before, having any training before, and they're getting it for the wrong fucking reason.
Okay.
Okay. Think of a firearm as an insurance policy. All right. Okay. You buy this firearm. It's for just in case that one day you need to protect you and your family. Right. That's what it's an insurance policy, and you hope to God you never have to use it. It's like flood insurance, right?
Okay.
Right. So these guys are going out and buying this gun, and they're walking out of there with a fucking lethal weapon. Yeah. Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah.
They're walking out of there with a
My favorite one.
yeah,
one of my
fuck
favorite
yeah,
movies.
yeah, he's awesome. I love Lethal Weapon. Anyway, so they walk out of there with this gun. They have no idea how to fucking use it. They have no idea what the fucking ramifications are for it. They have no idea what the legal ramifications for it.
Right.
All right. So my advice to everybody out there, if you have a firearm, get training. Okay? Do not just because you have a firearm doesn't mean you're armed. Okay? It's
Right.
like you can go out and buy a guitar doesn't make you a fucking musician.
So me and Wood,
fair enough.
we're not gun guys. We don't own guns. We don't touch guns. All that shit. But you hear and see in like the movies. I was watching this fucking movie. I can't remember. The guy walked up behind him, and I'm gonna use movies to
Oh
help
yeah,
you with
yeah.
real
Well, that's
life.
because most people have their education through movies.
Movies, so that's
that's
us.
where we're at.
So the guy walks up behind him. He puts a gun to the back of the guy's head, and the guy backs up. The guy with the gun to his head backs up till he hits the wall, and he turns around and takes the gun from the other guy.
Yeah.
All right. And I remember reading something, and gun is dangerous close. Knife, no. Gun is dangerous far away. Knife is dangerous close.
Yeah.
Is there any fact to that?
Oh, if you have the training.
If you have the training.
So there are guys out there that with knives that are like, holy shit. You don't want to get that guy within fucking arm's length or any length from you because they'll carve you up before you can blink, right?
Okay.
But it takes training. So the average person's going out and buying whatever weapon. Okay, you ever seen the YouTube videos of the fat white boys with the fucking samurai swords?
No, sir.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, where they chop like
Yeah.
water bottles,
watermelons and
and
shit.
stuff.
I'm just like, dude,
It's hilarious,
It's fucking
by the way.
hilarious, right? It's like, dude. Okay, if a real life samurai was to see that, he would cut your fucking head off. Okay, for dishonoring that
hilarious,
fucking
yeah.
weapon, right? So it is incumbent upon you as a gun owner or whatever that you get the training. Okay. You can have that firearm all you want, but you become more of a liability to yourself and your family if you don't have the training. Now, once you have the training and you're competent with that weapon, and when I say competent, I mean you are present in a situation where you are somebody's breaking into your house or trying to jack your car, whatever it is. Okay, you are paying attention to that, and you don't have to think about your weapon because you are so in tune with it that it is part of you.
If somebody's going to get a gun for the first time, and by somebody I mean me,
Okay.
and then secondary I mean Wood. If we're going to buy a gun, what type of gun should we buy?
Okay, well, the first thing I'd ask you is what's your purpose for it?
What about just like protection? Like protection in my home. Right?
Protection in the home.
Yeah,
Okay,
in
yeah,
the house.
yeah.
You don't want to take it out. You just want to have it in the home in case somebody breaks in.
Right. Yeah.
It's still your Xbox.
What do you mean
or
take it
something.
out? Like,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to the supermarket with it right now.
Okay.
The first
Okay.
step is protection in my home.
He's not. I'm going to take it to the movie theater because of that asshole
Oh, yeah,
out there in
yeah,
Colorado.
yeah.
I want to carry it with me.
Okay.
So what would I have? So go Wood first, then go me.
Okay. So first of all, make sure you're covered in your state's laws, right? So here in Utah, if you're going to carry concealed carry, you got to get a license for that, right? So make sure you get all that stuff taken care of. Wood.
What do you mean a license?
Concealed weapons license.
Oh, that's different
so
than my
you got-
driver's license?
Yeah, it's different. You drive it, so you got to go a course. You got to learn the
That
laws.
came with your
and-
license.
Yeah, and all
Okay,
that.
all right.
Okay, and then you can once it's all approved, you can officially carry a concealed firearm in the state of Utah,
So,
right?
okay. all
Okay,
right.
but you can't just carry around a concealed firearm without this license. Otherwise, you're fucked. If you
Okay.
get caught, I mean that's
your ass?
That's your ass, right?
Okay.
So, would I would say probably something like a shotgun. If you're not going to take it
okay.
anywhere, just get yourself a shotgun with some buckshot. Now that I know, I've heard the thing where you're supposed to have this recipe where you put some buckshot and some birdshot in there, so you can scare them, or you.
None of it makes
Time
sense
out,
to
Mr.
me.
RC. Yeah, you
yeah.
took, I don't know what buckshot or birdshot is.
Okay, so
All I understood was shotgun and shoot.
okay, so birdshot is like this really fine, little tiny BBs of
Is
lead
that
shot.
what they go like? They like do duck hunting.
Yeah,
and
so if you want to shoot
pheasant
a
hunting
bird,
with?
if you want to shoot a bird with like a big old shotgun, that's what you use. It's really.
Okay, I don't
light-
think a bird's breaking into his house.
No. So, but some people like the bird shot because it hits them. It's not lethal immediately, but it'll scare them off, right? I think that's stupid. If you're to the point where you racked a shotgun and somebody's still coming into your house, it's time. It's game over.
Fuck a birdshot.
Yeah, fuck
okay.
a
So
birdshot.
you're going
Alright.
buckshot, which is
I go.
what?
That's a bigger ball. So like you got double that buck, which usually
Buckshot
has,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
So you got like that's like a 30-something caliber bullet, and you got like 9 of them, like little lead balls, right? You can go. There's all different kinds. You got number 4 or number 1 buckshot, all the way up to like triple aught buck.
Is
So-
this what on the movies these guys come out? They're like boom, and then
Yeah.
it blasts them through the
yeah,
wall
exactly,
and
exactly.
shit like that.
Which is completely inaccurate, because if you're going to launch somebody with a firearm, then whoever shot it is going to launch backwards the other way because the equal and opposite reaction.
Oh
type
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
I remember my first group of hillbillies I met.
Yeah.
Ever in my life. I remember going shooting, and I was going to shoot a shotgun. And they're like, oh, you hold it like this. And they had it away from my shoulder. Like, yeah, you got to point it way
Oh,
out
they were
there.
fucking with you.
Yeah, no, they fucked with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, hold it away from your shoulder. And I shot that bitch, and that shotgun shot back into my shoulder and about disconnected my life.
Yeah.
My life from my shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you're dealing
Yeah.
with fucking
Dude, when you're shooting
white
a,
hillbillies.
when you're shooting a heavy recoiling long gun, you pull that fucker into your shoulder.
well, I
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
that. I learned that shortly after the
Shortly
bruise
after,
went down
yeah.
on my fucking shoulder.
Which is,
You could hold a second
and
one.
I've never understood that as these people who want to get other people into the shooting sports
fucking
with them, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, we need to get more women shooters. Then why are you fucking having them shoot this 12-gauge shotgun?
And fucking with them. Tell them to hold it 9 inches from the shoulder.
You should be starting them with a 22 or something and work them up.
Okay, so 20 gauge.
I'd go
12 gauge versus 20 gauge. What's the difference?
So
which one's bigger? Which one's smaller?
So the smaller in number the gauge goes, the bigger it is, and it's got some kind of measurement.
Weird.
It is weird. It goes back to measurement, some English measurement, and I don't know.
So it's like saying I have a 7-inch dick, which is really big, as opposed to I have a 14-inch dick, which is really small.
Yeah, maybe it's centimeters and inches. I don't know.
So the bigger the number, the smaller the bullet. The smaller the number, the bigger the bullet.
That's in gauges. That's in shotgun gauges.
Gauge. Okay.
So it's different for the rest of it. So I would just get a 12 gauge, get yourself a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 590, put buckshot in it, and that's probably going to do what you got to do. Okay, just for
that's in home protection.
That's in home protection.
Okay.
So now Keith.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to take a gun, so you want something you can use here, but you want to take it to a movie theater or the grocery store.
Yes.
In case that one fucking crazy white kid that just fucking snaps.
They're coming. They're out there. You said it yourself.
Yeah, well, they're out there. Dude, there's some crazy bitches out there. Right? So, got his mom's fucking little 22 out of her purse, and he's coming for you, Keith. He's coming for you. Okay, so there's always been this big caliber debate going around 9mm, 40, 45, blah blah blah. Right? Defensive.
I remember a movie called My Blue Heaven. Steve Martin.
Yes.
And he talked about shooting somebody with. You know the movie?
Yeah.
He's talking about shooting somebody with 22, and it bounces around in their skull.
Yeah.
Because it goes in, but it can't come out, so it just decimates your brain.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
That works.
That does work. But
Okay.
All right.
let me ask you this though.
Yikes.
So you're in a gunfight with somebody, and they're moving, and you're moving, and your stress is up, and you're fucking fighting for your life. Are you going to have the presence of mind to shoot him in the eyeball or something with a little 22 rifle?
Probably not.
Probably not. So you're going to want to go with something that's big enough, bring enough gun to stop a human being, but not so big that you can't control the recoil, or you wouldn't be able to carry it because it's so big it's uncomfortable to carry it. Right?
Okay.
So a lot of people, you got to get yourself a 45 and all that. Okay, so there's been a lot of misconceptions and a lot of miseducation about the different calibers. Okay, so first of all, with a handgun, unless you're going up into the really big, like 44 Magnum, 500 Smith & Wesson, guns.
44 Magnum, that's Clint Eastwood.
That's Clint Eastwood shit right there. That's some dirty,
bitch.
hairy shit right there.
Okay.
But you're talking about defensive handguns, like 9mm, 40, 45, 357 SIG, all that shit, right? There's not a goddamn difference between any of them when it comes to actually stopping human beings. Okay, so it's all shot placement and bullet penetration. So what that means is you're hitting them in the right spot, and the bullet's going deep enough to get to organs and causing shock and blood loss. Okay, that's basically all it is. Okay, and that's why handguns are inferior to shotguns and rifles, because they cause, with their velocity, they cause a lot more damage and cause a lot more shock and blood loss faster, which incapacitates the assailant faster. That's why we like rifles. Plus, they're more accurate, longer, and all that stuff. And
I love the way he said assailant.
Yeah.
Assailant.
You know what I mean?
Being proper.
Already you're on Dateline. He broke into my house. I didn't know who he was. It turned out it was your husband. Well, he had a mask on. He's an assailant. Okay.
Well, he looked like a white kid from a high school. I was like, no, it's on, man. It's on. Yeah. So, fuck, everybody's going to think I hate white people. So,
no, just white teenagers.
Which is bullshit. Because I hate all people. So you know, I hate them all. Okay,
just to clarify,
I've been all over the world. I hate them all.
So any handgun is perfect for what?
No. So I would say your best bet is a 9mm, and you put defensive ammunition in it, like a Federal HST, a bonded hollow point. So when it hits the jacket, which is the copper jacket that's the bullet, and inside
that's the tip part.
That's the tip part, and inside the tip part there's a lead core. What they do is they bond those together so they don't separate in the body.
Oh boy!
Or they have to go through a windshield, or it goes through a car, or it goes through a wall, or whatever, right? So it stays together and it penetrates deep enough. If you have core jacket separation, it doesn't penetrate far enough into the body. It doesn't cause shock and blood loss, and your bad guy keeps coming at you, right? So what you're looking for is something that's going to penetrate far enough. Going with a 9mm, it's going to have less recoil, and you can put more bullets in it. Then, like, if you got a 45, it's going to have more recoil, and it's going to have less bullets in it.
Recoil? That's recoil.
That's
the shotgun. That's the shotgun.
That's the kick, right?
Okay.
Not to mention, if you get yourself a great big ass 45, but it's 100 degrees outside, and you got to go to the grocery store, and it's hard to conceal it, you're going to fucking take it with you? You're probably going to leave it in your car, right?
Okay.
Then it's not there when you need it, right? So, I would, having been around a little bit and seen a few things, I would say. I've seen people shot with a 45 right through their middle, right through the fucking chest that ran hundreds of yards. Okay, and then I've seen people
Hundreds
shot
of yards?
hundreds of yards before they collapsed, and then I've seen people shot with a .32 auto that fucking dropped right there because of the shot placement.
Okay.
Or because there's also the physiological and the psychological effects, right?
Why are the guns in millimeters? Why? How come it's not in like what is that? It's metric and
Standard.
standard.
Yeah.
How come
So it
it's not-
depends. So the military uses the metric system.
right?
So it's all 5.56 millimeter, 7.62 millimeter, whatever, and then the American civilian public uses the standard system, so 45 or whatever.
Oh, so
so
they're
the-
both out.
So
The
40 and 45 are standard,
Yeah,
and then obviously a 9 because of the 9 millimeter.
so the 9
right?
millimeter started its career, if you want to call it that, right around World War I in Germany, I think it was the 9 millimeter Luger. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that it was a European cartridge for decades before it came over here.
What's the 357?
That's a revolver round. And it's basically like a 38, but it's longer and you can put more powder in it. It's pretty powerful.
Okay. And then I heard of one. Let me pull this up. A Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
What is that? What kind of bullet's that?
Oh, so it's an Israeli gun, semi-automatic, right? And they kind of made their bones back in the 80s. It's a semi-automatic handgun shooting 44 Magnum or 357 Magnum, right? And they've got like a 50 Action Express. They've made it in some different calibers, but basically it's a big-ass fucking gun.
50 Action Express.
Yeah. It's a 50 caliber bullet that goes really fucking fast.
All right.
Wow.
That'll do the job.
That would probably do the job,
But that's not for somebody to carry on them.
No. Not unless
You're
you're
not
like
carrying that bitch around at the
No,
store.
if you're Shaquille O'Neal, you probably get away with it.
Oh,
If you're a big ass motherfucker,
Big
then
hands, big body.
Exactly. Somebody that it's like shaking hands with a dinner plate, right? And then that would probably be a good gun for you. But for the average person, dude, I'm telling you right now, it's like because I used to be back in the '90s and even into the 2000s, I was like, that's a 45 or nothing, right?
Yeah.
But it turns out that it doesn't fucking matter. It's all shot placement and bullet penetration. And with the new ammunition that's out there that you can get, it doesn't matter.
You
Because
said
I imagine
shot
it
put-
advances as everything advances. So do weapons.
Yes.
I mean, they don't just. Oh well, look, this was created in 1954, so that's where it's at. I imagine it progresses and advances and everything else. Things get better.
You've said shot placement several times, so
Yes.
you practice a lot.
Yes.
All right. You have 3 girls, you said?
Uh huh.
And you have obviously a wife, and you got the girl dog.
Yep.
You're surrounded by estrogen. You
Oh
don't
fuck
touch
yeah!
that.
It's a sea of estrogen, dude.
Do you take them all out and show them how to shoot?
I've done it once, but there's no ranges around here to take them. You can take them to indoor ranges, but it's so fucking loud, and the guy next to you is shooting a 50 Action Express, and no, I've been bad about that. I need to get the girls out and shoot more, but
I'm comfortable with guns then.
no, they're
Or
fine. They're comfortable with them being around, but they don't handle them because they've been taught from an early age you don't fuck with guns.
You don't touch them.
They don't touch them.
A revolver you don't have to clean.
No, you need to clean it.
If the jimmies, the shells, what the fuck's it called? The little capsules, shell, right?
Yeah, the
They
rounds.
stay there. The rounds, they stay
Yeah.
in there. So what do you need to clean?
You need to clean the barrel, the bore, the inside of the barrel. It's going to get all leaded up and with copper and lead and carbon.
Do you know about ballistics?
A little bit.
All right. So each barrel has like a different,
Twist. Yeah, it's going to have lands and grooves, right?
and that's how they do. Again, you're talking to a Dateline 48 Hours Mystery ID TV.
Do you like football, Keith?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you put a spiral in that football, a nice tight spiral, and
Yes,
it's more
sir.
accurate. So it's the same thing with the barrel of a gun, right?
Okay.
So if it's got a good spiral in the barrel, twists and grooves, lands and grooves, right? That's what grabs the bullet when it's going down the barrel and puts a spin on it, and that's what creates the accuracy.
When it comes out the barrel, then it hits the side of the barrel.
Yeah, it's actually engages the lands and grooves, or the grooves inside the barrel. It engages those as it's going down the barrel. It's being propelled by those gases we talked about, the expanding gases from the cartridge. It's pushing that through your barrel. The bullet is engaging the lands and grooves and making it twist. When it leaves the barrel, it's twisting, and that's what gives it its accuracy.
So it's just spinning down.
Can you bend the bullet? There was a movie out where they shot and they moved the gun and it made it go like around people behind her.
That's before Angelina Jolie turned into.
She was in it. Is that
that's
bullshit?
before she turned into Cruella DeVille, right? Yeah. Sure. No, that's not possible.
You can't do that.
No,
I
and in
can't
fact,
bend the bullet.
I saw MythBusters where they tried it, and all they accomplished was almost shooting each other. So
Okay.
no, you
Because they're
can't.
trying to whip it.
They're
as
trying to whip it, but once the bullet leaves, you have no control over that. So. So yeah, it's no, it's like I say, if you've seen it on the TV and movies, it's wrong. until proven otherwise, because what they're doing is they're either trying to make push an agenda, or they're just doing it for pure entertainment, pure wow factor, right? And with no regard to what reality is.
What was Sam Colt? Was that the first repeating revolver?
Samuel Colt? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect him.
Oh,
yeah.
Sam? Yeah.
Yeah, I called him Sam. He said Samuel, so obviously I had to respect him.
Yeah.
So Samuel Colt, is that the first repeating revolver? Is that the one that changed the West and all that shit?
I think he was one of them. So you have Samuel Colt, which came out with the Peacemaker and all that, the revolver.
That was the one where you shoot it and it clicks over to the next one.
Yeah,
you
so
shoot
you got
again?
the cylinder in there with the different bolt. Yeah, what'd you call them, jimmies?
Yeah,
In there, right?
Jimmy.
Yeah. So you cock the hammer back and the jimmy comes in, right? So yeah, he made that, and then you got I can't remember what Winchester's first name was. But he made the repeating rifle, the lever action rifle and all that stuff. So
He's the one that had that crazy ass wife that went down to San Diego and built that fucking house.
yes,
Yeah.
And then she said she saw ghosts of all the victims of the Winchester.
Yeah,
no.
I went to that house, man. What was the first gun?
I don't know. I think it dates way back to like ancient China, because they're the ones that came up with the
Gunpowder, yeah.
And so I think it started off with them just like loading like tubes or something, and honestly, if you think about it, it kind of predates back to like fireworks and stuff, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
so the innovators was Sam Colt and Winchester back in the day.
Well, it goes. I mean, yeah. So back in the old Wild West, you got those two, and then when you get into the turn of the century, and from the 1800s to the 1900s, you got John Browning, who made the 1911.
He's from your hometown.
Yeah. He designed the M250 caliber machine gun, which is still in use today, over 100 years of service.
Same way, the same fucking build he had.
It's the same gun. They've updated it. They've made it better, but it's the same design. So
Wow.
that's still in service. The 1911, which some special operations units still use, the 45.
I don't know what that is. Who made the 1911?
John Browning. It's like
Service Browning too.
World War II. You watch World War II, and any American troop that's using a pistol, that's a 1911.
Oh, wow.
Is it silver?
It can be. It can be silver. The military ones are like black.
Why is it called the 1911?
Because it was the year it kind of got its patent. It was 1911.
So
I
even
was
in
gonna say
2020, you could still buy a 1911.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you can buy a 2020 1911.
Yeah, you betcha. 2020, 1911, and 2021.
Do you
Yep.
own one of those?
I own a couple, yeah.
Do you have one on you so I can look at it?
No, I don't have a 1911, no. I used to carry 1911s a lot, but they're heavy. They only hold 8 rounds, and I kind of got sick of their old world technology. If you got to get them fixed, it takes a gunsmith to like hand fit the part. I was like, I'm just going to use a Glock or something where I can, it costs $400 for the gun, and then I can fix it myself.
All right, that's my question. Then. What's the simplest handgun? What's the one I cannot take care of because
What's the
I'm
Walmart?
lazy?
What's the Walmart of handguns?
Okay, so
Nice, Wood.
Yeah.
so okay, if you go out, if you pay under $400 for a gun, you done fucked up.
You done fucked up.
You done fucked up, because if you go cheap, there's an old expression that says buy cheap, buy twice.
Okay.
If you buy a cheap ass gun,
I've heard that.
if you buy a cheap ass gun or a cheap ass car or a cheap ass tool or whatever, it's going to break on you. It's not going to do the job, and you're back out buying something else, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and in this case, you buy a cheap ass gun and it fails on you in a gunfight. Guess what? You're fucked, right?
You don't get a chance.
You don't
If
get a
you're
chance.
alive.
Yeah, if you're alive, you don't get a chance to buy another one, right? So, I would say that something like a Glock. They're not perfect, but it's like the AK-47 of handguns. Like any dumbass can pick it up and use it.
Okay.
Okay, so they're pretty reliable, especially the new Gen 5s. They're pretty reliable, and you don't really need to take care of them that much. But having said that, it's a tool. It's like your car. You got to have an oil change once in a while. You got to, if you don't take care of it, eventually it's going to fail on you.
Right.
Okay, so but the Glock, a Glock has a polymer like a plastic lower, with a grip, and then the top, the slide is made out of steel.
Plastic?
Yeah.
Doesn't it get hot?
No,
Wow.
all the heat's up in the slide, up where the barrel is and stuff. So it would. They tend to be more reliable and they work pretty good. But again, any machine can fail if you don't take care of it.
All right, here you are. All right, I'm gonna put you're fucking commando right now. You're John Rambo.
Okay.
You just fell out the fucking helicopter and you need a fucking gun. You fell in the gun house, and they got all these guns and they're getting a gun. What gun are you grabbing? You see all these fucking guns. You see the Glock. You see the 1911. You see that other Frankenstein one you were talking about.
Yeah.
You got all that shit. What gun are you grabbing? Handgun.
A handgun? Probably a Glock 17.
Wow.
17.
Are you talking about I'm going into combat here?
You're just grabbing a gun.
Okay. Then probably like a Glock 19, because you can use it for both more of a tactical sense, and you can conceal it better.
All right, and you said a combat. So what are you going with then on the combat?
Well, so a handgun is nothing more than a backup. Okay, so I would go with a Glock 17, right?
Shit has gone bad in your life, huh? You know, seriously, he's like a backup. And
Yeah.
Well, no, so if your rifle if you run out of ammo or you have a malfunction, or you get into a tight area where you can't use a rifle, then you want to have a handgun, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I would probably go with the Glock just because I know how they work. They're pretty reliable and they're pretty simple.
Okay, the rifle.
Rifle depend. So there's just so many variables here, dude. Are you talking about I'm in the middle of a jungle somewhere? Do I have access to supplies? I mean, what am I doing here?
Holy shit!
Pick one.
I don't. You fell into your home right now, and
you lost your remote control.
Shit's going sideways.
And
because
there's a guy in your garage.
Oh, there's like some Red Dawn shit going on.
Yeah.
Wolverines.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably so I'm in my house. I've got all my fucking access to all my shit. So I'm probably gonna grab my LWRC 6.8.
You know,
I don't even understand.
I never heard of that. It sounds like a fucking race car to me.
I think he made it up. We'll just go with it.
LWRC is it's a company out of Maryland that makes military grade and law enforcement grade weapons, right? Rifles for the most part. And a 6.8 is a 6.8 millimeter SPC. It's a round that fits in the same size as like a smaller AR-15. But it's got a lot of whoop ass behind it.
Okay. Yeah. You said your oldest is 12 years old.
13.
I pity her in about 4 or 5 years. The person she brings home, and people always talk about cleaning your fucking guns and shit. Please don't put a gun to this young man's head and ask him what his social security number is.
Now, you know what I'm going to do?
I have no idea.
They give me no fucking guns. There's going to be me and a wife beater. Okay, and it's going to be stained, too, with like fucking ravioli sauce and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be stained. I'm going to look like fucking Samuel Jackson in that movie with the wife beater and his hair sticking up, right? Okay. I'm going to invite that.
What's that, Black Moon Snake or some shit?
I'm going to invite that little fucker in.
And
we're going to have pizza. And then I'm going to wait till he's got his pizza, and I'm going to fucking eat his pizza off his plate and look him straight in his fucking eye, right?
That's a fucking dick.
That's a power play right there.
Power play and mind games. All 100%. You don't need a fucking gun to get in somebody's head.
No,
you don't.
So we're about to wrap this up, but I want to ask you about, because I hear, and if anyone listens to media in the news and all that, AR-15. A lot of people have the misconception that stands for assault rifle.
Yeah.
What is AR?
AR stands for Armalite.
And where does that come from?
Armalite was the first company that made the M16. So when Eugene Stoner designed it, it was Armalite.
You talked about him earlier.
Eugene Stoner.
Is he still alive?
I think he died. Him and Kalashnikov. Kalashnikov is the one that Andreev Kalashnikov designed the AK-47 after World War II, and so they both designed their weapons. The iconic AR-15 or M16 and the AK-47 were designed approximately in the same era.
Okay.
So Kalashnikov died, and I think Eugene Stoner died as well. They both died.
So gun violence. Guns don't kill people. People can kill people. That's you.
Yeah, to a degree. So
to a degree. Let's talk about the degree.
So here's the thing. So I'm a Second Amendment guy. Okay, you can have my guns after they're empty. And
that's apparently
nice and hot.
Take it on my cold
dead fingers,
dead hands.
Well, and guess what? I'm not gonna get dead just hanging out. There's gonna be some serious ramifications if you come for if you try and violate my rights, right? However, there are some stipulations here. You have to be responsible. Okay, part of being an American, in my view, is being responsible, being able to take care of yourself, and one of those things is self-defense, right? But if you're an irresponsible asshole that doesn't take care of their business, doesn't take care of their shit, don't fucking get a gun. Okay? I don't want you to have your fucking gat in a car and get it stolen and have that gun used in a robbery later. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you get a gun, you make sure it's secure. You're responsible for that fucking weapon, dude. Okay? Fairly simple. Would you leave a power saw laying around where kids can get it? Or a fucking nail gun?
Yeah, I always unplug and put my saws away. When my kids go up, the saw's gone.
It's the same thing with a weapon, right? You make sure that shit is secure, and it's your responsibility, okay?
If I make a batch of margaritas, I always make sure they're secure and put away so the kids don't get them. Would you know that?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put the margaritas on top of the refrigerator where the kids can't get them.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I do.
Yeah, and then on top of it, get yourself some fucking training.
Okay.
Get some. You don't have to be commando. You don't have to be John Rambo crawling through the grass or or whatever. But you need to get some basic firearms training so that you're safe and effective in using that gun. Because when you're under stress,
you don't have to be Tackleberry. Is it Tackleberry?
Tackleberry from Police Academy.
Yeah, you don't got to be that guy.
My favorite guy was the guy that made all the sound effects, though.
Michael Winslow.
Yeah, that guy. He was fucking awesome, dude.
That's the same generation. So you talk about training. You talk about going and getting gun safety courses.
Yeah, so
learn how to clean the motherfucker. Learn how to care for the motherfucker.
Yeah,
Get a safe.
So unlike
naming it.
Unlike the military, I don't know how the Army is, but the Marine Corps was like you had to Q-tip clean that bitch. It had to be fucking, like no carbon. You don't need. It's not necessary. Okay, you can just wipe them down, get the big stuff out of there, and make sure they're lubricated properly, right? That for cleaning, for training. Okay, you can go to. There's a lot of gun shops around here, like down in Salt Lake County, like the Armory, places like that. That I think they offer instruction. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's a lot of companies that offer instruction. You don't, like I said, you don't need to go do gunfighter training, but you should at the very least get some sort of training of how to load it, unload it safely, how to shoot it, the basics of marksmanship.
Understand the weapon in your hand.
Understand the weapon. Would you fucking go swinging a hammer around? You didn't understand what the fucking hammer was?
Right.
Okay, so get training, okay? And once you get into it, maybe it's something that you'll like, and then you can advance and do more fucking cool-ass training, right? But you got to learn how to crawl before you can walk, all right? So
all the shit that's going on right now, you're not concerned about, though, because you know you and yours are going to eat.
Because I'm confident in my ability to protect my family, right? That's what I'm talking about. And it's the people who don't prepare. It's the people who don't think about these eventualities. It's the people who don't have extra food and extra toilet paper on hand, whatever. That when the shit goes sideways, they're the ones that become the problem. Because suddenly now they're hungry, and suddenly now they're the ones that are fucking, and they're the ones out looting and fucking creating all the havoc, right?
Are you a reloader?
Yes.
So you get the shells off the gun range and pack them?
Yeah. Reload my ammunition, and so the big lie is that you start reloading to save money. That's horse shit. Because by the time you get done with all the equipment and you really get into it, you don't save money, but it's fun. It's like a hobby. It's like when how people like knit or dudes work on cars, or they have a hobby that kind of keeps their hands busy and kind of keeps them from going fucking stir crazy.
Yeah.
For me, that's like reloading.
All right.
Oh, so
I noticed all your tattoos there. All right. Any gun tattoos? You got any tattoos that are pertinent to your time in military, or they just?
So I don't have any specific like gun tattoos. But the one on the back of my left arm is my saw gunner. So a saw is a squad automatic weapon. That's what one of the weapons I carried in the Marine Corps was a saw, an M249. It's a machine gun. So that's what that is.
Did you name that one?
No.
You never named your weapons?
No, they're just a big heavy bitch that I had to fucking carry around and clean.
Got it.
And then
I've been there.
And then this guy here, it's one of my tactical guys with an LWRC 68 right there. So then this guy here is my Roman soldier, which kind of pays homage to the fact that I'm Italian.
Yes.
Okay, from the central Italian area.
Can I see that one?
Yep.
Oh, his face right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's and then the soldier part, and I made sure it's a soldier, not an officer, because I was never a fucking officer. I worked for a living, right?
Nice.
But he's so it's a Roman soldier, which pays homage to the whole military concept of my life, right? And then the shield is the 20th Legion that fought the Celts in Scotland, England area about almost 2,000 years ago.
Like Wood's family came from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, part of my family, the white trash part of my family came from Ireland, and
we're English.
Look at Wood, because I wasn't over there. Okay, that was Wood.
You didn't want to be there any of the Romans built the Hadrian's Wall to keep the Celts away from them because they were such savages.
What are the numbers for? I see that number up there, that 9411. And the 0311, if you don't mind talking about that.
0311 is my MOS in the Marine Corps. It was rifleman.
Okay.
That's your job, right? And then the other one is 38 CFR 9411, the Code of Federal Regulations. That's for PTSD. That's when you get rated by the VA. That's what they rate you as, and that.
Oh wow!
Shit, you embraced it then.
Yeah. And then this is Molin Lave. That's you remember the 300, the Spartans.
Yes.
At the Gates of Fire, the Battle of Thermopylae. That's what that means. Come and get them when
you've got a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's
let's not sugarcoat. Let's not gloss over that thing.
Well, my friends call. Oh, was that your fucking gecko? Right. No, that's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The reason I got the T-Rex is when I was really going through some really bad mental stuff.
Okay.
There was a night I had a dream where there was this goddamn T-Rex chasing me, right? And then for some reason, I was able to tame it, right? And it was like my pet, and I was able to sick him on my neighbors and shit. And that's
perfect.
That was the fucking coolest.
That's perfect.
And so for me, that was kind of that was me fighting back and maybe conquering the mental stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what the Tyrannosaurus Rex represents. Plus, I think the T-Rex is fucking cool.
Yeah. Except for it could never clap.
Yeah,
But,
no,
yeah.
He can't clap or do questionable things on the internet. You know?
I love that because here you are, you're a Marine,
Mm-hmm.
you're a gun guy. You can kill people 5 times before they hit the fucking ground, and you talk about mental health, which is beautiful because people you need to take care of your fucking mental health, man.
you do.
Especially in these times, whether or not you're getting along with your significant other. I am so fucking drunk. Whether or not you're getting along with whomever's in your home,
Yeah,
you understand
yeah.
what I mean? Reach out for help. And our mental health experts, January we had the family therapist on. Reach out to people like that and get some help.
Yeah.
With that, is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. RC, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. And let me say, so they say, well, what about the World War II generation? They didn't get any help. I say, yeah, well, they drank
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And they beat their wives.
And they beat their wives.
And their kids.
And their kids. And the violence that came from World War II that translates down into the neighborhoods and the family from that is because they didn't get help. They didn't have help. It was you came home and you sucked it up and you went to work, right?
It's not natural to go through the things that you and your fellow comrades
is
went
not.
through and not deal with that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's okay to be vulnerable and reach out for help.
Yeah.
It is. And you can still be a badass. You can still be a tough motherfucker. You can still, again, kill people 5 times before they hit the ground. That's not a validation of you or indicator of who you are.
No.
Go out and,
No.
Well, and
get up and kick ass again.
And a lot of the mental illness stuff can be chemicals.
Yes.
It's completely out of your control, and it depends on your genetics. It can depend on your situations. It can depend on your childhood if you got traumatic stuff in your childhood, and it works all the way through everything that you witness and happens.
I was just gonna say, you've seen shit people shouldn't fucking see.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah. And guys, I hate to wrap this up on you, but through part of this and now here at the end, we've talked a lot about mental health and mental illness, and like RC said, it's not the schizophrenic. It's simpler than that. It's our veterans that are coming back, and don't forget about them. And hell, even people now, we're all cooped up inside. Check yourselves, check your neighbors, check your friends. Everybody knows somebody that's been in the military.
Chickity check yourself.
Before you riggedy wreck yourself. You know what, guys? Go and check on your family. Go check on your friends. Make sure they're okay. I know we're all isolated, but you can still call. You can FaceTime. Hell, we're so damn connected anymore, I can't stand half the people that I'm connected with. So, guys, check it out. Please, please, please. And I know that our listeners know somebody that is military, ex-military, or associated in some way. Share this episode with them because they're going to love it. Because we covered a lot of guns. We covered a lot of man shit in here. So, women, I'm sorry. But even if you're female and you love the guns, here we are. This is what we did this week.
I would like to think most females love the gun, just maybe not the ones RC was talking about.
I think they prefer the pistol. But we're talking about
The
guns.
single shooter,
Are we talking about the missile? Or?
not the repeater.
Yeah. So, guys, share this episode with everybody out there. Remember, we always appreciate the rating and review on iTunes because that kind of helps boost us up
He's
in
fucked up.
whatever. In the rankings, and we did hit 33 in the nation in entertainment news last week. Just for the record, I want to put that out there. So, guys, check it out. So What You Saying? It's SoWhutChuSayin.com, SoWhutChuSayin@gmail.com, and Anchor.fm/SoWhutChuSayin. That's where we host this at. But we're on any podcast catcher out there that you can think of. That's where we're at. And with that, Keith and RC, I got to tell you guys, today it was a pleasure.
Get your ass in front of ESPN and watch the Michael Jordan documentary because he talks about, hey, this documentary makes me look like an asshole. Michael Jordan, after 10 fucking hours of watching you, if this makes you look like an asshole, guess what? You are an asshole, okay?
Yes, you are.